Check. Okay. Let's do it. Ready? Welcome to the Pac-12, the lone Pac-12 matchup of the season, live from Corvallis, Oregon, at Reser Stadium. It's KUGR Radio. It's Levi Coovert alongside Davis Hagen. It's the Washington State Cougars taking on the Oregon State Beavers as the 8-2 Cougars coming off a tough loss, but they are back in action. We're watching the Beavs run onto the field right now. Also coming off a tough loss, the Wazoo faithful. There's some members of the Wazoo faithful here. It's a lot of orange, though, in the stadium here in Corvallis. The game's about to get underway. And let's talk, Davis, a little bit about just what this game means for Washington State. Obviously, it was brutal to lose to New Mexico by 3 points. And, you know, just a gutting loss because we had a chance at the playoffs, and obviously probably not anymore. But what do the Cougs still have to play for this week?
Yeah, well, Washington State got as high as 18 to last week against New Mexico. The Lobos ended up getting a 3-point win, and it was devastating for everybody in Pullman and the Cougar team, especially because you get so high and then you fall so far, completely out of the rankings in the college football playoff rankings. They are 25 in the AP, but all that matters is that they got the Beavers today. That's what matters, and that's right. The most important thing is that bragging rights are on the line. The Beavers want to beat the Cougars just as much as the Cougars want to beat the Beavers, and the one thing to play for is history. Only 10 teams in Washington State history have won 9 games. So this team has a chance to go win 9 and maybe even 10, 11 games if the season goes well the rest of the way for Washington State. And to be part of history is always something that you should chase as a person and as a player. This team really needs to lock in, though, against a very tough Beaver team.
Absolutely. Yeah, history and just the honor. The captains are out in the middle of the field right now, and among them is number 17 for Oregon State. That's Ben Goldbrinson, who we just found out he's going to be starting just the second time this season. He'll be the starting quarterback for the Beavers. So what do you expect to see out of him today, and how do you think the Cougs prepared? Because obviously we didn't know who was going to be the starter. How do you prepare for all 3 quarterbacks? And what particularly does Goldbrinson bring to the table for the Beavers?
Well, Goldbrinson is probably the most accurate quarterback out of the 3. 2 of the 3 are more of running quarterbacks that they run first. And Washington State has struggled with just a rushing attack in general. They gave up over 270 yards to Ashton Genty. They gave up almost 300 yards to New Mexico last week. And Dampier ran wild against them. He ran for 193 yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you play McCoy or Johnson for Oregon State, those 2 guys are going to be able to run the ball. But Goldbrinson doesn't quite have that. He's got the ability to throw the long ball, and he can get the guys when they're open. He's a very accurate passer, but it's just consistency hasn't been his game. And as far as we know, he has a lot to prove. You know, he's a senior. He's a team captain. He started 2 years ago. DJ Uyunglele came in last year, and then he gets benched again this year, and 1 start this year against San Jose State, and it did not go well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and what would probably be his final couple of games as a collegiate athlete. Yeah, he certainly has a lot to prove. Let's talk about the Wazoo offense. Last week, obviously, they scored 28 points in the first half, but then they fell flat. Second half, they only scored 7 points. So what do you think the offense for the Cougs has to do to maybe keep their foot on the gas and avoid another second half letdown?
No, this team needs to stay in front of the chains. Coach Dickert talked about it in the press conference this week. When they get behind the chains, they were able to get bailed out in the first half against New Mexico. That stopped in the second half. Third quarter was absolutely brutal, and third quarters on the road have been horrible this year for Washington State. They are getting outscored 41-10 in third quarters. So that's something to watch after halftime, how they come out and respond. And this is going to be a tough physical football game. It's cold in Corvallis. The wind is blowing. Oregon State runs the ball really well, and Washington State's run defense is tough. So the Cougars need to help out their defense by staying on the field and staying ahead of the chains.
And you talked about Gulbranson and some of his inconsistencies as a passer. How does the Oregon State offense overcome some of their passing game inconsistencies?
Yeah, well, Oregon State only has 4 passing touchdowns on the season, and that's a really low number for being a 4-16. That's 10 games, only 4 passing touchdowns. So they are 12th in the nation in rushing attempts. Yeah, so they run the ball a lot. They have 421 attempts in 10 games. They're 12th in the nation in that, and they are in the top 25 of total rushing yards. So they are going to run the ball. They're missing Jam Griffin, one of their best running backs, but the Colorado transfer, Anthony Hankerson, is going to be the main man tonight for Oregon State. And Washington State's interior and linebacking core needs to be ready to play, or else the Beavers might run all over them.
Yeah, it's sure to be a good game. I'm sure it will be a close game. The record's obviously Wazoo 8-2, Oregon State 4-6, but I have no doubt that the Cougars and the Beavers are going to find a way to make this thing close. It's the Pac-2, the Pac-12 championship, you could call it. It's about to kick off right here. For Oregon State. It's a senior. He was honored in the pregame. Everett Hayes getting ready to do the kickoff. And here it is. It's going to be into the back of the end zone. And so that's going to be a touchback. Cougars going to get the ball at their own 25.
Yeah, this offense last week had a great first half. John Mateer with 11 for 11 to start the game before his first incompletion. It was a career high for him, and I fully expect this team to come out blitzing and maybe even score on the first possession. Dickert and this offense and Arbuckle should have a good script going, especially in a cold environment like Oregon State.
Yeah, absolutely right. The offense normally does start off strong, and they are starting off with Mateer in shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to the left. He's got Wayshawn Parker in the backfield, and it's a handoff to Parker. Cuts over to the right side, gain of about 4 or 5.
Yeah, good run from Wayshawn Parker. Just put his head down and didn't try to do anything fancy. We've been mentioning how cold it is, and it's got to be cold down on there on the field. Probably not a lot of windbreak with this open stadium, and it's going to be tough. These defenders probably won't want to touch Wayshawn Parker in the second half if he keeps doing that.
Absolutely right. And there's Parker again, this time to the left side, breaks a tackle, and now gets brought down by Vandrawale the third. And that's very close to a first down. Going to be third and about maybe half a yard.
Yeah, already the chainsaws have been brought out. Dickert was having the sound box behind Mateer this week in practice with that loud noise and the chainsaw.
Absolutely. Mateer under center. Now he's calling an audible. Parker still in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers to both sides. Third and short coming up for the Cougs here on the opening drive here in Corvallis. Mateer takes the snap, and now he falls down, back on his feet, tripped up, ball is out. Oregon State has it.
Man.
Wow.
Are they going to say he was down, though? I think
like
they're marking it 4th down. The head referee.
And now a flag is out.
Yeah, Kyle Williams is John with a different player. There's so much craziness going on already. Okay, well, we don't know quite what's going on. The refs were pointing at the ground. One was holding up the 4th down fist.
Yeah.
The stadium thinks it's a fumble.
Well, see, Mateer was not hit when he fell, so the knee could not be what brought him down. I think that was a fumble, but we're going to see what the refs have to say. It was Isaiah Chisholm, inside linebacker, a freshman actually, who recovered that one.
The ruling on the field is that the quarterback is down. There is no fumble.
So the ruling is that he was down.
After the play, unsportsmanlike offense. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
And it's an unsportsmanlike call on Kyle Williams. That's going to bring the Cougs way back. It's going to be 4th down and 16, and or I guess it's going to be 3rd down and 16 or 4th and 16. 3rd and 16. The Beavers were going absolutely nuts on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, because they're getting it's going to be a 4th down, so the play will stand. It'll be 15 yards behind that. Wow, so a good start for the Oregon State defense, getting Washington State out of rhythm.
Here comes the punt.
Nick Hopper sends a punt for the Cougars.
And it's not Dean Janikowski, as it often is. The punt is going to be received by, that's Walker, Trent Walker, fair catch. So Beavers going to start at the 45. And Washington State's first drive comes to a screeching halt. Mateer, so that play, a little bit about that play. It looked like it was just a kind of a designed quarterback run, a fake handoff, maybe an option play. I'm not sure whether that was an option or whether it was a designed run, but either way, he just got tripped up and lost control there. Tough to see, but Washington State's defense still has a good chance here. And here's Gulbranson under center for the Beavers. Gulbranson making his second start of the season. Takes the snap, quick handoff, and getting about 3 or 4 yards. It's Hankerson.
Anthony Hankerson, the ball carrier.
Hankerson with 14 touchdowns on the season. Still looking for about 100 more yards if he wants to have 1,000 this season. He's got almost 900 now. And they look like they're in a power run formation. They got 7 guys in the offensive line. Gulbranson under center again. Takes the snap, another handoff. Again, Hankerson makes one man miss and now brought down for a first down.
Yeah, pretty open holes. This offensive line for the Beavers opening up good gaps, and it's forcing safeties like Tanner Moku to come down and make these tough tackles against a guy like Hankerson that when he gets downhill, he's tough to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. But he just had a nice hold there, and I have to say, I think their offensive line has been doing a good job so far. Obviously, only 2 plays in, but their O-line looking sharp. Gulbranson now is in the shotgun. Going to throw. He's got an open man, and it's a Hankerson again, and the flat to the right side. First down out to the 30, and now a flag is thrown. Not exactly sure what the flag is for.
Thornton seems to think it was on Hankerson, maybe a face mask on a stiff arm potentially.
Yeah, it could have been. Thornton was on him, and Thornton ended up pushing him out of bounds there. But
yeah, Thornton's a really good tackler, so typically if you're even close to him, he's going to bring you down. So maybe a face mask, hard to tell from the very far side of the field from where we are.
Yeah.
Personal foul.
It is a face mask.
Offense.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
There we go.
That's going to be called back. So it'll be first down and 25 instead of first and 10. So both teams suffering from an early penalty. And that may be what you have to expect in this game. Obviously, it's a rivalry game. Washington State, Oregon State, only 2 teams left right now in the Pac-12. So maybe there's a little bit of bad blood. We heard Coach Dickert talk about that in the press conference before the game, saying that, no matter what the fans might think, we are not friends. These schools are not friends. The administrations are not friends. And maybe you've seen a little bit of that. A couple personal foul penalties early on. So Gulbranson's again in shotgun. He's got 2 receivers on both sides, and now the whistle's blow, and another flag is in. That's a delay of game
good.
call.
Now we got 30 yards to go for a first down. It looks like Johnson actually is going to come in for Gulbranson, and they're going to go a different quarterback. They did this last week against Air Force where they went with Johnson and McCoy back and forth, but this is on the same series, so maybe a quarterback run coming up.
Gabori Johnson, yes, that's Gabori Johnson, who played a little bit last game. It's a handoff, and who is that?
Salahadin.
That's Allah, the freshman, Salahadin Allah. It was a nice run to the left side. Didn't get the first down, obviously, but he does put them into a striking distance. It's going to be second and about 7-ish. So that's Allah, the freshman, who has gotten an increased role in the offense this season after the injury to Jam Griffin. So he's getting some action. And Colson is who is that? Yeah. And brought down by the Cougars defensive line. Not sure if that counts as a sack. I think it's a gain of maybe 1.
Yeah, Gulbranson back into the game. So they try a little quarterback designed run for Johnson, and it just did not go anywhere. This defensive line for Washington State has given up a lot of rushing yards this year, starting to tighten up against the Beavers.
And they like to do that with Gabori Johnson. 59 rushing yards in 20 attempts, but he really hasn't, when you think about that, 20 attempts, 69 rushing yards, he's averaging less than 3 yards a carry. So yeah, Gulbranson back in the game. Now he's got 3 receivers to his left side, but he hands it off to Hankerson. And Hankerson's going to be brought down short of the sticks. 4 Cougs piling on top of him.
Yeah, an interesting decision for Trent Bray, first-year Oregon State head coach. Is it going to be aggressive in a game like this where Oregon State needs 2 consecutive wins to make a bowl game? You have to kind of go for these. It's at the 38-yard line, so it'll be a long field goal in this win. So looks like they're going to go for it.
Going for it on 4th and 3. 3 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Nobody in the backfield. It's an empty set backfield for Gulbranson. He's going to throw. He does throw right side, and it's caught by his tight end, Jermaine Terry II, for the first down.
Yeah, probably the right call by Bray to go for it.
Yeah.
It was close enough that you could easily get that, and then Washington State played just a little off coverage, and Terry found the soft spot.
Yeah, absolutely right. Washington State just a little bit too soft there on the coverage, and pays off big time for the Beavers. So looks like it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 30. Gulbranson again is in shotgun. Sends a man into motion, hands off, Hankerson up the middle. Nowhere to go that time. Cougars bringing him right down. That was Thornton on the tackle.
Yeah, this is a very physical game. As soon as those guys meet each other in the hole, there is no backing down. Thornton absolutely smashing into Hankerson, and then it takes multiple guys to bring him down. So both of these teams kind of heard maybe what Dicker was saying, like you were talking about earlier, that they are not friends, and they are out here to smash some skulls.
Yeah, they are out here to smash some skulls very clearly. 2nd and 9 now. Beavers in field goal range, but obviously they'd like to score that touchdown. Gulbranson now under center. Trips receivers formation to his left. Pitch play, Hankerson in the backfield. And Hankerson again is hit. And that time it was Adrian Wilson, the safety, who came into the backfield to make the stop.
Good pursuit that time from Wilson, coming over from the backside as the safety to chop down a toss play, which sometimes those toss plays get strung out pretty wide. It's hard for those safeties to come over and make the play, but the closing speed on display there from Wilson.
It does end up with a gain of 1, so it's 3rd and 8. Now the Beavers are spreading things out a little bit. 2 receivers each side. Hankerson still in the backfield. Terry is in as a tight end. Looks like he may be going out for a route. Gulbranson takes the snap, throws left side. A little bit overthrown, but making the catch is Jeremiah Noga. And another first down.
Another good play on
that was a nice throw.
Down. Yeah, Gulbranson
Floats
so
it
far.
over the head.
Yeah, he's been really impressive so far. The accuracy has been on point, and now they're taking him out again.
So this could be another designed run for Gabori Johnson. We have not seen Giovanni McCoy yet in this game. He's the 3rd, obviously the one who actually started 8 games for the Beavers this year. But it's Johnson on the designed run who gets a few yards to the left side, and now he's breaking free across the 5 into the end zone. It's Gabari Johnson, and he has his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, what a really impressive play. They run a speed option, and it looks like Thornton bit on the fake pitch, and then Johnson had all kinds of room and a long drive. There's 7 minutes left in the first quarter, so Washington State's drive doesn't go anywhere. Oregon State slowly marches down the field, and they've thrown the first punch here.
Yeah, they have. Everett Hayes on to attempt the extra point, and it is good. So the Beavers take the early lead. It's the freshman, Gabari Johnson, on his first rushing score of the season. We talked about it. He likes to do those design quarterback runs to the freshman Johnson, and that time it paid off big time. That was a 20-ish yard touchdown run to put the Beavers on the board.
At this time, we'd like to welcome Nicole Kirkpatrick to Research Stadium as our
and we're going to take a quick break for you guys. We'll be right back. We welcome you back to Reeser Stadium, fresh off an 11-play, 55-yard, 6-minute drive. The Beavers capped it off with a touchdown, and it was the freshman, Gabari Johnson, who took it in for his first of his career here at Oregon State University. So the Cougars, an early 7-0 hole. We've seen them dig out of holes before. But Davis, you made an interesting comment. It seems like the Beavers are playing a little more aggressively so far today.
They definitely have more passion on the field. I mean, you could see it as soon as they got that third down stop on the Washington State first possession. They were cheering and celebrating, and everybody in this stadium knows that they need to win these next 2 games to get bowl eligible.
Absolutely right. The Beavers are trying to scrape and claw. Well, the kick was just once again sailed way over the back of the end zone, so it's going to be another touchback. So for the second time today, John Mateer and the Cougar offense coming out to the 25-yard line. What do you think they need to do in this drive to maybe overcome what happened in the last drive?
Well, I think what happened on the last drive is they just got unlucky. Mateer kind of stumbled, and that kind of set the play off the rhythm, but they were moving the ball pretty well through the ground. So
yeah, they certainly were. Mateer is in shotgun. Out into motion goes Pulalasi. The throw is to Kyle Williams, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, just looks like it went right through his hands. Maybe too much heat from Mateer on that play, but Kyle Williams, the first ever Washington State player to go 3 touchdowns in consecutive games, and he's 4 touchdowns shy of tying the all-time record at Washington State. A very reliable receiver. Surprised it went through his hands.
Yeah, well, Andre Jordan Jr. was also there on the coverage, and it actually bounced off his hands. Next play, Mateer takes the shotgun snap. Going to run it himself? No, he tips it off. It's Cooper Mathers who's got it for a gain of maybe 7 or 8. Should be third and short. Brought down by Thomas Collins. And it's going to be third and about 2. So once again, the Cougars in a very similar situation to where they were in the last drive, facing a third and short.
Yeah, here we go again. What do they do? Last time they ran Mateer, did they do it again?
They've got 5 receivers in the game right now, including trips to the left. Meredith, Williams, and Hudson all in a bunch formation in the left side. Mathers goes into the shotgun, and wow, here he goes. Mateer's going to run it, and this time he does get it. Barely, but he does get it. Out to about the 38. Got a nice block there from his O-line, from the left side of his O-line, and just able to get there, but I'm still not sure about that play design. When you have all those guys going out, but it worked. It worked, and the Cougars going to get a new fresh set of downs. So it's 1st and 10 from about the 37, 38-yard line. Mateer again in shotgun. He's been living out of the shotgun all game so far. Play fake to Parker. Now the throw, and it's caught by Chris Hudson. Gain of maybe 6.
Mateer's pass complete to Chris Hudson.
Yeah, quick game for Washington State. Something important, John Mateer. The time to release is really, really fast.
Yeah, just kind of working the quick throw game. Again, they're moving very quickly. Shotgun pass. That one is caught. That's Kyle Williams. Left side, far side by the sidelines. That's going to be a first down. Gain of about 15.
Drive should have gone if Mateer doesn't stumble. I think that Washington goes right down the field, and I think they're probably just replicating what they did.
Yeah.
Just maybe more through the air this time. But this Oregon State defense has been a similar bend but don't break, but they've got a lot of injuries throughout the season, so they're kind of playing on their last resort guys.
Yeah, really all they're doing is they're sticking to the same script as that first drive. Here's a handoff. That's Parker. Parker breaks a tackle. Parker breaks another tackle. And now he's brought down about the 26, 27-yard line. That's going to move the sticks again.
Yeah, at this point, this is when Washington State says, okay, you guys are fired up, but so are we. And I really like to see how Washington State has responded to that really impressive 6-minute touchdown drive from Oregon State.
They're moving very quick. They're not wasting any time right now. Mateer again in shotgun. 3 receivers this time, all of them to his right. Mateer looking to throw. Mateer hits his man. And that's going to be a touchdown. That is a touchdown for Carlos Hernandez. Wow. Wide open Hernandez right down the middle. Had an open lane. How about that, Davis?
It has been absolutely amazing to see Carlos Hernandez back in the fold for this Washington State team. He missed the first 5 games with a foot injury, but he has been electrifying since. And an absolutely, I mean, he could have thrown it to Hernandez or a few of those other guys. There was a lot of receivers open, a lot of green grass for them to run in a great response.
Yeah, that was a nice play design because Hernandez was open, running kind of just a slant route down the middle. Then he had a fade to Chris Hudson that probably would have also been a touchdown if you wanted it. But yeah, just fantastic. And you're right, Hernandez just complements Kyle Williams and Chris Hudson so well. Having 3 weapons instead of 2 is so important. And really, they have another weapon because Cooper Mathers has been absolutely fantastic in the red zone as well.
Yeah, Cooper Mathers has been just Mr. Efficiency this year. He's only caught a few. I don't know how many touchdowns at this point he's gotten without like receptions. Earlier in the year, he was 4 touchdowns and 4 catches, and that was like every time he touched the ball, he scored. He's kind of gotten away from that the more he's been involved in the offense, but he's been a player that Dicker was talking about when they move on to next year, in the next few years, when these scholarship players, they have more scholarships to give out and they can't take walk-ons. Cooper Mathers and Kyle Thornton and Tanner Moku all started in their walk-on career. Their journey started as a walk-on, and Washington State wouldn't have those guys at this point without the walk-on options, and Cooper Mathers has been amazing. He had a catch on that drive, but really good response. I think that's the takeaway from that drive was Washington State got kind of hammered in the first drive from themselves, and then Oregon State marching down the field. So to be able to come back from that and score a touchdown and get some momentum on your side and be on the scoreboard is important. And giving up a touchdown to this Oregon State team that has only scored 20 points in the last 3 games is not exactly ideal. They got shut out last week against Air Force, and we were talking that the force hasn't been quite the force that they normally are, and so getting shut out by them was not exactly in the books for Oregon State, but here they are coming back and scoring on their first drive. It'll be interesting to see what they do coming forward.
Yeah, well, it was a good drive. 7 plays, 75 yards. They moved the ball quick. Only took about 2.5 minutes for them to get all the way down the field and score that touchdown. So it is 7-7 after the Carlos Hernandez score. This is KUGR. We'll be right back with you.
Attention to the north end zone as we've got
Hey, good.
Welcome back. It's KUGR Radio, the student voice of the Palouse. We are here live from Reser Stadium in Corvallis. Washington State, Oregon State, 7-7. That is the score here in the first quarter. Still 4 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first quarter, so a lot of football left to be played. But it's a tie game here in the Pac-12, the only Pac-12 league game of the season. Just a little bit ago, Carlos Hernandez with a fantastic not that it was a tough catch. He was wide open, so he just ran a great route, and John Mateer hit the target. It's 7-7. Dean Janikowski is ready to kick things off. Back to the Beavers, who have not received a kick yet today, so this will be the first time. And the kick is high, end over end. It's going to be returnable, and it is, and going to get not much on the return. That was, I think, Allah, the running back, freshman Saladihin Allah, doesn't get very far. Gets out to about the 16-yard line, so that's where they're going to begin.
Yeah, well, last time they got the ball right around midfield and didn't have to go very far. This time they've got a long way to go to the Beavers, and they could take almost the entire rest of this first quarter and some of the second if they played their cards right.
Yeah, this is going to be a different drive for them for sure. It's Gobernson who's still out there under center. Allah in the motion, and it's a handoff to Allah, a bit of a jet sweep play as he ends up getting tackled about the 23. So pretty solid play. You don't often see the kind of
7 yards.
the motion handoff all that often these days. The jet sweep was much more popular, I would say, probably 6-7 years ago, but it's worked out decently for them. Second in about 3. Gobernson in shotgun now. And now it's Hankerson in the backfield. And it's a give to Hankerson. And he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great pressure from Edson that time. These edges for Washington State have had not a lot of, I don't know if they've been kind of disrupted, and it's been the defensive tackles that have gotten more pressure, but the DNs, especially in this game, have been crashing really hard on these running backs because they are expecting Oregon State to pretty much just solely run the ball.
Yeah. Which is, to be fair, that's a lot of what they've been doing. So maybe they're not wrong. But they've got 3 receivers right now, all on the left side. Gobernson in shotgun, and again, Hankerson in the backfield. And he's going to drop back to throw, and he hits his man, Trent Walker. Walker to the left side, outside sidelines, out of bounds, but not after he gained about 30 yards. Trent Walker out at about the 50, so that was a great play. And Trent Walker was wide open. They sent him into motion before the play, and Washington State just kind of forgot about him.
He's been their best receiver all year, over 65 catches, and he's chasing top 10 status as an all-time Beaver receiver. But they don't throw the ball too much. They only have 4 passing touchdowns on the year.
And just 2 to Walker. So he's got half their receiving touchdowns on the season. There's a handoff, Hankerson up the middle, and it's a gain of maybe 2.
Anthony Hankerson up ahead.
Couple of Cougs on top of him. Looked like the bottom of the pile was Isaac Terrell.
Isaac Terrell, the tackle.
So about 2nd and 8. Beavs midfield, almost to midfield. They're at their own 47. Gobernson again is in shotgun. We saw him under center for most of the first drive. Now playing more out of the shotgun. 7 guys in the O-line, heavy set, going to drop back, throw, quick pass, and there it is, Walker again. And it's a gain of about 5, so it'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, they've converted a few, got to have it downs early in this game. They had a 4th down and a 3rd down. Do they go back to the ground? They only need 2 yards.
Looks like they may be setting up the throw, and no, it's a handoff. Hankerson, and he bottled up, and I think they got the stop there. Going to be a close spot. Hankerson just went up the middle that time, and it was met by a bunch of Cougs.
And another opportunity for Trent Bray
It's going to be, 4th and 2.
Decide if he wants to go for it, and their offense is still out there, and it's only 4th and 2. They're into Cougar territory. They went for it earlier in this game, and in a season where there hasn't been a lot of things that have gone right for Oregon State, you might as well roll the dice.
Why not roll the dice? You got nothing to lose, and that's exactly what they're playing with. They're playing with a nothing to lose mentality. So here comes Gobernson, and now the timeout is called, and it looks like that's a timeout from the Beaver sidelines.
Oregon State, their first in the half.
Well, where do you think they go? You think you go for a run? You go for a pass? Part of me thinks maybe bring in Gabari Johnson again. That was working earlier, but
yeah, I think
I don't know. I don't know what do you do here?
You could be spot on with that. They were kind of confused, not sure what to do, so they end up calling a timeout. And sometimes if you call that timeout with about 20 seconds left on the play clock, that means that you're going to get a substitution going. Because if you sub, Washington State can sub too, and then all of a sudden that play clock runs down to under 7 seconds, and people don't know what to do. So they could send Jabari Johnson out, but if they don't, I'm thinking maybe a leaking play to the tight end, Jermaine Terry, who has been kind of a blocking tight end so far today, and he's caught a pass for a first down already, so it wouldn't be entirely shocking to see a quick rollout from Gilbertson and maybe get him a little bit on the run. He's not entirely mobile, but he can do it just enough.
Well, that's what we've seen. Gilbertson has found the most success so far today, kind of with the quick passing. Just get the ball out, and if your first read's not there, probably throw it away. But so far for him, the first read has been there. It's been Trent Walker, a lot of that, and it's been, maybe his running backs, Hankerson out of the backfield. He has found his first option, and he has. I mean, he's been accurate. He's been efficient. But I think that if the Cougars, from their side of the ball, they need to be disruptive. I think they really just need to put a little more pressure on it because, yeah, Gulbranson with a clean pocket with an open receiver, yeah, he can do some damage. But once you start putting that pressure on him, maybe tighten up defensively a little bit, it's going to be harder for him to find those open guys and convert those tough downs.
They also have Anthony Hankerson, the Colorado transfer, who has been an absolute sledgehammer out of the backfield. And if they get him running downhill, he can pick up 2 yards easy. And
Absolutely.
They tried that already on third down, so if they go back to it, does Washington State kind of expect it? Or sometimes it's, I expect you to run the ball, and then you do it anyways, and you still surprise me because maybe I wasn't fully expecting you to run the ball. So a really interesting decision, and I think no doubt they're going to go for it. I think that you don't call a timeout in this situation unless you're going for it. And Trent Bray has already decided in this game that they're going to be aggressive.
Could also see another kind of a trick play. We've seen earlier 5 times this season. Zachary Card, wide receiver, has gotten the handoff. We could maybe see another jet sweep, something like that. They have lots of options, and the Cougars need to be prepared. Bit of a longer timeout, but we'll keep you with us as the timeout still with about 35 seconds to go. So, yeah, Washington State 7 points on the board right now. A bit of a not slow. I would hate to call it a slow start.
Yeah, it's been more of Oregon State kind of just taking the ball away from Washington State. Only 2 drives for the Cougs, and they had a really nice touchdown drive the second time they got the ball. But if they don't have it, they're not going to be able to score.
Absolutely right. Well, and with that, we'll bring you back to the action. Play clock winding down, and the Beavers are ready to go. And they are indeed going for it. It's Gulbranson at the shotgun. Hankerson in the backfield, 3 receivers. All of them are to his left. And now a motion goes no good, but it's a handoff to Hankerson, and it's up the middle, and the Cougars think they've got him. And we'll see what the spot is. It's going to be really close. Hankerson went up the middle, and they're saying it's Cougar football.
Great pressure put on by Washington State's interior defensive line. Ansel Dimbu breaking
right
it up.
There, and the Cougars D-line just all over him. Great stop. They got him on third down. Like you said, would they go back to him? They did go back to him.
They did, and Hankerson just didn't look like he had all that much speed built up. Normally he's flying downhill, but I think they tried to run out of the shotgun, and I don't know if that's Hankerson's strong suit. He likes to get at least 6-7 yards of built-up speed.
Yeah. Well, the Cougars' offense is now on the field. Mateer under shotgun. Pulalasi is in at running back. Mateer takes the snap, rolls out to his left, throws wide open. Chris Hudson at the 25, rolling over. That's a gain of about 40. And on the first play, John Mateer connects with his senior wideout for a huge gain. How about that?
Cougar offense cooking now. Mateer finding the spots and just finding a good rhythm.
That was a fantastic play for Mateer. Now he's back in shotgun again. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Play fake to Pulalasi. Now it's again to Hudson. Screen play. Hudson out about the 15. He goes out of bounds, gets pushed out by a couple of OSU defensive players. Looks like that was Skylar Thomas on the stop, the safety.
That's the end of the first quarter.
And that's going to bring it into the first quarter. So the Cougars are driving. It's a tie game right now, 7-7. We'll be back with you. We're going to take a quick break for the quarter. This is KUGR Radio. Welcome back to KUGR Radio, the student voice of Washington State University. We're here live with Levi Coovert alongside Davis Hagen as the second quarter is about to get underway. The Cougars right now tied up with the Oregon State Beavers, but driving after a couple of nice throws from Mateer to Chris Hudson. First quarter, we saw both teams make a long scoring drive. For the Beavers, it was freshman Gabori Johnson who took it into the end zone on a touchdown run. For the Cougars, it was Carlos Hernandez who caught the touchdown pass. And now we'll see what the Cougars can do on their third drive, as they are currently facing a second down and about 6 at their own, at the Beavers 17. They're into the red zone and now looking to cap this drive off with a touchdown. Mateer is in shotgun, 3 receivers to the left. Hudson into motion. Jet sweep to Hudson. Hudson down at about the 12. So it's going to be close, but I think that's going to be third and about 1.
Yeah, another third down and in the red zone. This place gets really loud on third downs. There's been a lot of them tonight. Washington State so far hasn't been totally efficient. We saw John Mateer fall down on one of them. Oregon State playing really good. Washington State just 1 of 2 on third downs.
Yeah, Washington State haven't had a whole lot of opportunities, but you're right. That first third down just turned out to be a disaster for them. Here goes 3rd and 1. Hernandez is on the right side. Hudson Williams on the left side. Mateer's going to keep it himself, and he's hit, and he's dropped, and he's sacked. John Mateer play fake to Javensky Schlenbaker, and he tried to take it himself over to the right side, and he was not able to get there.
Yeah, it looked like it could be a read option opportunity, and he decides to pull it and not give it to Schlenbaker. Ultimately, hard to say if it was the right decision or not, because Schlenbaker kind of got bottled up as well, but either way, they did not convert.
So here's Dean Janikowski, the senior kicker, who's been with the Cougs for 4 years, all 4 years of his career. Janikowski, the kick is up. It's through the uprights, and the Cougars take the lead. It is 10-7. Had a chance to put more on the board, but at least they get the 3. And so Washington State now with a lead early here in the second quarter. Still a long time to go, 13 and a half minutes until the half. We're going to take another quick break while the Beavers announce their tailgater of the game, but we're going to be watching that, and we'll be right back with you in a couple minutes. This is KUGR Radio. Thank you very much for listening. Welcome back
Oregon Beaver cheerleader
to KUGR Radio. I cannot hear myself. Welcome back, KUGR Radio. So the Cougars, if you're just joining us, Cougars just kicked the field goal. Dean Janikowski, 4-3. It was a short field goal. He made it. Cougars now leading 10-7 over the Beavers here in Corvallis. The Pac-12 championship, if you want to call it that. And now the Cougs getting ready to kick it off again. So the Beavers, their last drive ended, I believe it ended with a punt, right?
No, turnover on downs. Right around
oh, that's
midfield.
right. They went for it. Beavers went for it in midfield. Did not get it. They've gone for it twice. And the Beavers getting ready for their third drive of the game, as they are still right now being led by Ben Goldbranson, though he was not the one responsible for the points. That was Gavari Johnson. Janikowski is out to kick. Cougars set to go, and here it is. Kick is off, and once again caught by Allah. No, that's not Allah. That is, who is that? That's Zachary Card, wide receiver, who carries it out to about the 22, 23-yard line. So just about where they would have got if it had been a touchback. Didn't really lose anything there, Zachary Card. And so the Beavers getting back out there. Beavers offense looked good in the first drive, looked decent in their second drive until they stalled at midfield. So we'll see what they have in the cards for them this time. Goldbranson in shotgun. He's got a couple of receivers to his left, and he does have Allah in the backfield. Going to throw right side there, and it's caught by Trent Walker. Great throw there, and great contested catch. Cougars had Ethan O'Connor was right on top of him, and O'Connor just not able to make the play there. Trent Walker, fantastic catch as he kind of dove for that.
Yeah.
Good. Second about 4.
Good leverage from Trent Walker. Got inside on the slant, and O'Connor couldn't do anything about it at that point because Walker had good body positioning.
Yeah. So 2nd and 4 now. Goldbranson again, shotgun. Walker and Nogu are the receivers, but it's a handoff to Allah. Allah up the middle, close to a first down.
Saladin Allah, 4 yards.
And it is a first down. He gets just enough. It's going to be 1st and 10 now from the 32.
It's kind of what Oregon State wants to do. Get the ball close on 2nd or 3rd down to the sticks, run it and get another first down, keep the clock moving, and ultimately just drain the entire quarter by the time they get to the end zone.
And we're seeing a lot of Saladin Allah early in this game. The freshman, kind of surprising that we're seeing him so much. Goldbranson takes the snap now. He motioned Walker, now throws deep, and is almost picked by the Cougs. A great play there for Washington State, and now
got a hat on the play, but there should be a flag. The ref couldn't find it in his pocket, so instead he throws the hat, but that's probably going to be pass interference.
That is pass interference, and that's going to go against Stephen Hall.
Yeah, he was all over him. It was really close. It will be, I could see it being contested, but ultimately he got there before the ball got to the receiver, and a 15-yard penalty on Hall.
And we heard the crowd going nuts about it, and I was looking for a flag. I'm like, where's the flag? I didn't see anything, and then he pointed out he threw his hat.
Yeah, he was scrambling on his belt, and then he decided, okay, I'm just going to throw my hat,
But, yeah, the crowd got what they wanted, and probably a good call. Stephen Hall was kind of on top of him. So Goldbranson now, that keeps his perfect completion percentage alive as he is now under center. And it's a give to Allah again, and that one's going to go for a gain of maybe 1. Multiple Cougs down there on the stop. Looked like Buddha Al-Uqta was the one who will probably get credited with the tackle, but there's about 3 Cougs in there. Andrew Edson as well. So gain of 2 for Allah, 2nd and long. Beavers are right about a midfield. They're at the 50-yard line right now. 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Beavers trailing the Cougs by 3 right now in Corvallis. Goldbranson takes the snap. And that's not Goldbranson. That is Gabori Johnson, who again takes off for a big run. So Gabori Johnson, how about that? This guy's having himself a night.
Yeah,
the freshman, that's about a 17-yard rush.
Yeah, against this Washington State defense that has given up a lot of rushing yards to, either quarterbacks or running backs that are pretty talented, pretty fast guys. They're not going to be able to tackle them for some reason. And Dampier went for 193 last week, and Johnson already has a touchdown and another big run.
And Gabori Johnson, again, he stays in the game now. He's in the shotgun formation as he hands it off this time. No, he keeps it himself. He faked me out on that one. Actually lost control of the football when he went down. And they're calling him down. Yeah, not a fumble. But I thought for sure he handed the ball off to Saladin Law. He kept that himself. That was a great fake. And that's what you see. That's what you can get out of a guy like Gabori Johnson. It'll be interesting to see, if what his future holds. Obviously, Goldbernson's gone after this year. He'll be graduated. So potentially, maybe Gabori Johnson takes over. I don't know how they feel necessarily about Giovanni McCoy, but Goldbernson for now is back in the game. He's under center. Heavy set formation right now. Handoff, Allah, and again stopped in the backfield. So now third down and about 6.
Another third down, and we've seen him go for fourth down twice now, so it's probably 4-down territory once again.
You have to think so, yeah.
You don't have to get all of it on this play on 3rd and 8. You can get half of it and then slam it up the middle again, if you please, but we'll see what they do. Hankerson is back into the game. He's already got 9 carries on the night.
Goldbernson under shotgun. 3rd and 7 for the Beavers in Cougar territory, and now there's a false start, I believe, and I think that's against the Cougars, but we'll see.
False start.
It's on the offense. Okay.
Well, that's not good for Oregon State when you're a team that kind of struggles to move the ball offensively and you back yourself up 5 yards on 3rd down. There's not a lot in their playbook for 3rd and 13.
Yeah, especially for a team like the Beavers that they don't love to pass, especially they don't love to go those deep passes. If I was them, maybe I would reach back into the playbook. We saw them have a couple of decent plays working from motion. A couple times when they sent Trent Walker into motion. So maybe I would try something like that. But it looks like they're lining up to just kind of throw the ball right now. It's an empty backfield for Goldbernson, who takes the shotgun snap, drops back, throws, and it is Trent Walker who makes the catch. And he was wide open, and that's going to be a first down. So not the play that I asked for, but it worked.
Yeah. Well, it's probably good they didn't listen to you. But Trent Walker's been Mr. Reliable for Oregon State when they do decide to throw the ball.
He has been, and at that time, again, just wide open. Cougars just giving them a little bit too much space right now defensively. And they're into the red zone now. They're at the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. Trying to get a good angle here. Sorry if you can't see me on the stream. Goldbernson, again in shotgun. And it's still Allah in the backfield. We have not seen Hankerson at all in this drive. Goldbernson takes the handoff, gives it to Allah. Allah is brought down, gain of maybe 3, maybe 2. Down about the 17, 18-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and about 9 for the Beavers. Zachary Card coming into the game now, so potentially could see a handoff to him. The wide receiver has not caught a pass yet this year, but he does have 60 rushing yards. He's done some kick returning. He's got a lot of speed, but he's right now he's lined up on the outside, and there it is. He goes into motion. They don't do the jet sweep, but he does go into motion. Now the throw is to the tight end, and he's into the end zone. That's Jermaine Terry the second. That is a touchdown. Jermaine Terry the second. No, he's not. He's down at the 1. And they're lining up at the 1. They're going to go quick. Goldbernson takes the snap, hands it off, and it's Allah. Saladin Allah, and he puts the Beavers back on on top. Along with the 1-yard touchdown after Jermaine Terry got them to the 1. And the Beavers, could this be a shocker in Corvallis in the Pac-12 championship?
Everett Hayes on for the PAT.
The point after, Everett Hayes, the senior kicker. And it is through the uprights. And right over the heads of a massive tuba section. I could have sworn that ball was going to go into one of those tubas. Either way, the Beavers are now leading 14-10 here in the second half. 7 minutes to go in the half. Cougars have some work to do on both sides of the ball. It's KUGR Radio. We'll be right back.
Friends at Unitas Community Credit Union for the Drew.
Welcome back to KUGR Radio. Thank you for listening. As the Washington State Cougars have just fallen into a bit of a deficit. They're down by 4. Nothing they can't overcome. They were down by 7 earlier. But that last drive, the Beavers just kind of went right down the field, and we saw a lot of different things work. We saw a couple of trick plays. We saw Gabari Johnson come in for another nice run. We saw the tight end, like you talked about, Jermaine Terry, with a nice reception. And ultimately, it was the running back, the freshman running back, Saladin Allah. They do love to run the ball. They love to get those running touchdowns. Almost had what would have been just their 5th receiving touchdown of the season. But instead, he was brought down at the 1, and it was Saladin Allah who got the point. So Cougars down 14-10 right now. 7 minutes to go in the first half. If you're Washington State, Davis, what are you trying to do on this drive?
Trying to replicate what you did on that second drive of the day where you just went quickly through the air. And the last time they had the ball, they got really close. But again, on third downs, it's been a kind of an interesting play called decision-making from Washington State, but they've been able to move the ball between the 20s pretty well.
Yeah. That drive goes right over the head of the Cougars kick returner. So the Cougars, all 3 times they've received a kickoff, it's been a touchback. They're going to get it at the 25 once again. And we'll see what Mateer and the Cougars have dialed up this time. That first drive, they were very much sticking to script. Last drive, maybe a little bit off script, but it still felt pretty smooth. We'll see what they do. They've got a spread formation right now. 5 receivers. Mateer in shotgun. Mateer throws right side. It's Josh Meredith for a quick gain of about 5. Quick throw there. Bit of a screen play. And it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 30.
Meredith is a guy that kind of has slid down the depth chart as Hernandez has kind of reemerged himself as one of the top targets. And Meredith is a really good, reliable receiver. Most of these receivers for Washington State can make all the catches. It's just a matter of getting open.
Yeah, once again, same formation, this spread formation, 5 receivers right now in the game for the Cougs. Mateer again, shotgun. Now he runs it up the middle himself, and it's going to be close to a first down, and he does have the first down as a pile up of linemen has fallen on top of Mateer at about the 36-yard line. It'll be spotted at the 37, so 1st and 10 from the 37 for the Cougs. And I like that play design. You know, you get the 5 receivers out there, and then what do you know? It's a run play. And they keep the same formation again, so 3 plays in a row in this spread formation. Mateer again, shotgun, going to throw. Looking to throw right side, and Meredith's again open at the 45. He is brought down by Vandrawali, the third.
9 yards on the reception.
Yeah, Vandrawale, the nickel for Oregon State, did not play against Air Force. They didn't need a nickel against Air Force because the Falcons controlled 40 minutes of that game, and they were just running it right down their throat, so they really didn't throw the ball too much.
So that was a gain of 9, so it'll be 2nd and 1. And now the Cougars do bring out Wayshawn Parker in the backfield. And it's a give to Parker. Parker right side, bottled up in the backfield and dropped for a loss of a couple. Beavers were all over that one. JoJo Johnson was on the tackle. And we'll see what the Cougs can figure out here. It's 3rd and about 2.5 yards. They need about 2.5 yards.
Washington State's 1 of 3 on 3rd downs tonight. They've tried Mateer almost every time, just running it. And twice he's kind of stumbled backwards.
Well, it's all been 3rd and shorts. They haven't really faced a 3rd and long opportunity yet. They go heavy set here, and now the whistles blow.
Timeout.
Washington State taking a timeout. So maybe smart, figure out what do we have in the playbook for 3rd and short other than a Mateer rush. It looked like they were planning to do a handoff there, but you never know. It could have been a play fake. But yeah, you're right. You know, they faced a 3rd down earlier in the first drive. Obviously, fumble, tripped up, had to punt. 2nd drive, they did convert. 3rd drive, they ended up with a 3rd down. And then, again, it was Mateer who was stopped in the backfield. They had to kick the field goal. So it's all been 3rd and shorts. And they haven't necessarily felt super confident on those 3rd and short plays. We'll see what they have dialed up. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll see you back in about a minute. KUGR Radio, thank you so much for listening. We bring you back once again to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. Washington State facing a pretty big 3rd and short right now. 3rd and about 2 yards to go for John Mateer and the offense. 4.5 minutes left in the first half. And the Cougars right now, they are down by 4. And it feels pretty crucial that they score on this drive because like you talked about in the pregame, they have really struggled in the third quarter. So you really want to go into the third quarter with a lead. Mateer's in shotgun. He hands it off. It's Schlenbaker, and it is not. Yeah, I don't think that he got it.
Javinsky Schlenbaker, the ball carrier.
He may have. They're going to have to spot it, and they are going to call it a first down. How about that? So Javinsky Schlenbaker just enough to get there. A little couple boos right now from the crowd.
That was really close, and I was kind of with you. It did not quite look like he had all that he needed to get, but a big third down conversion, because if they don't get that, they might not see the ball again in this quarter because of how long Oregon State has the ball.
So good credit to Schlenbaker for fighting his way through. Parker back in the game at running back. Mateer takes the snap, throws left side, quick pass to Kyle Williams, and he gets out of bounds. On the stop was Jaden Robinson for the Beavs, one of their captains. Williams for a gain of about 6 or 7.
5 yards on the reception, 2nd and 5.
Second and about 5.5 right now for the Cougs. Mateer commanding the offense. Parker at running back. Williams, Hudson in at receiver. Hands off. Parker up the middle. Parker for a first down out across the 40. He was tripped up by Isaiah Chisholm. Good stop by Chisholm, because if Chisholm wasn't able to get him, he may have gone for another probably 10, 15 yards.
Exactly. That's the Wayshawn burst that we've seen all season.
Yeah.
And finally getting back into rhythm. Wayshawn Parker, the true freshman, has, when he sees daylight, he's just so explosive. His first step is one of the best in the country.
Yeah, Parker's been an absolute breath of fresh air for the Cougs. There's a play fake to Parker. Now Mateer looking far right side over the head of Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez maybe thinking there should have been a flag there, but it's not going to happen. It's a good play, honestly. It was Exodus Ayers on coverage, and Ayers was locking him down pretty well there. So Cougars going to face 2nd and 10. I like the idea behind it, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good thing for Washington State to try to exploit, is some of these corners, maybe other than Jaden Robinson, maybe go at Exodus Ayers, a guy that doesn't play a lot of man coverage super well.
As Mateer takes a shotgun snap, looking at his spread formation, right side, makes him the catch that time. Is that Meredith? Yes, it was Meredith at about the 25. First down for the Cougs, and now they are inching closer to the red zone. A 14-yard reception on that one. As Parker re-enters the game. And now they got the trips formation on the left, right about at the Reeser logo. Parker out into motion to the right side, so he's got 3 receivers bunched up to his left, 2 receivers stacked to his right. Mateer's in shotgun.
They're just going to send it to the 2-minute timeout. They didn't have to snap it. They had 2 seconds extra on the play clock, so they decide to just take it to the 2-minute timeout and maybe try to play Oregon State at their own game and take control of this quarter with the rest of the time in the quarter. Oregon State's had consecutive 6-minute drives, and Washington State was just 4 minutes, probably wants all the time they can with their offense.
Now it's time to get on your feet and raise those voices, because it's time for the Toyota Sing-Along.
Well, and with that, we're going to take a break. The Oregon State Stadium right now is about to start singing along, and we're not going to let you guys hear that one. So we'll be back with you in about a minute and a half. This is KUGR Radio. Cougars need to score. They're down by 4. 2 minutes to go in this first half. This is KUGR. Welcome back to Corvallis, Oregon, as the Washington State Cougars. Hey, they've got a first down. They've got 25 yards to go, and they need to score 2 minutes to do it. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, we'll see what the Cougars have dialed up, see what Ben Arbuckle has to dig out of the playbook for John Mateer and the Cougs, who are currently down by 4. The Oregon State fans are going crazy since you've been gone. And since you've been gone, you haven't missed a whole lot because it's been the 2-minute warning. So here they go. Mateer shotgun, ready to take the snap. Parker in the backfield, 1st and 10. Here he goes. Handoff. Parker up the middle. Parker breaks the tackle and now is brought down at about the 17, 18-yard line. Looks like Skylar Thomason on the stop.
8 yards makes it 2nd and 2.
So it'll be 2nd and short for the Cougs. And now they're bringing out everybody. 5 receivers are in the game for the Cougs. We'll see where they go, including Tony Freeman, who we haven't seen much of today. Tony Freeman is on the far left side. Mateer bobbles the snap, now throws, caught by Chris Hudson. Hudson out of bounds at about the 12. First down for the Cougs in the red zone, and now they are 12 yards away from the touchdown. That's what they really need to get. They need to get a touchdown. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, Davis. Do you think if they go into the third quarter without the lead, do you think they can survive that?
It's tough because they've been outscored 41-10 in the third quarter against the teams on the road, and this Oregon State team can march down the field pretty effectively, as we've seen so far in this game.
It feels like getting the lead here is so critical. Mateer takes a snap, rolls out to his left, looking for an open man. He's going to throw to Kyle Williams, and he's brought down at about the 3-yard line, out of bounds. That's really close to a first down.
To number 2, Kyle Williams.
Williams was just sitting there at about the 2-3-yard line, and I think Mateer was worried maybe that he'd be picked off, but he ends up hitting the man. On the stop was Jaden Robinson. Robinson just shoves him out of bounds, and it is 2nd and inches now, so that helps the Cougs a little bit. You can kind of have a little bit more plays to work with. 2nd and inches from the 3. Mateer takes the shotgun snap, going to run it himself. He's got the first down, and he is into the end zone, maybe. And it is. Touchdown. The signals come from the ref. The line judge says it's a touchdown, and it is. John Mateer takes it in himself. And the Cougs are back on top. It is 16-14 here in Corvallis.
Well, they just threw a flag, I think, on Esapole, the left tackle for Washington State.
Is that going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct?
I believe it might be. The refs will probably talk about it because Mateer handed the ball to the offensive lineman for him to celebrate, and he spiked it into the ground, and it bounced right into an Oregon State player's head. So we'll see if they pick it up.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And it looks like
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 7.
Yeah, so that's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct for that excessive celebration. Good for Esapole. He got to make his mark. I don't think he intended to spike it into the face of a Beaver player. That's just kind of how it happened. So the Cougs, that penalty is going to be on the kickoff. The touchdown stands, of course, and the Cougs, pending a PAT, will be up by 3. We'll see if Janikowski. He's been pretty much nails on PATs all season. And he makes that one. So the Cougars now leading 17-14. They still have a minute on the clock for Oregon State to maybe figure something out before halftime. That's where we're at right now. We'll be right back with you once again. This is KUGR Radio. 1 minute to go till halftime. Cougs on top of the Beavs, 17-14.
State 17.
And there's no break this time. We're right back with you, KUGR Radio. 1 minute to go for the Beavers. We'll see if they are able to put something together. Cougars would love to get a stop go to the half with the lead. Minute and 4 seconds is what's on the clock right now. Beavers don't really have anyone back to return right now. Zachary Card is the furthest back, but nobody at the end zone. Janikowski, if he wants to just sail this for a touchback, he's going to be able to, but instead he's going to kick it. It's caught. It's Zachary Card at about the 15, out across the 20, 25, 30, out across the 35, and now brought down about the 39-yard line. So a nice return from Zachary Card.
Zachary Card returns.
Not sure if they figured something out about the winds or what was going on there, but could have figured Janikowski could have just kicked it out for a touchback.
26.
Yeah, it doesn't help that
there, Davis.
they had to kick from the 20-yard line after that pole unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's true. He had to kick from further back. That's right.
So 15 yards back, and that's kind of where it landed, right around the 15 for Card. Yeah. And an Oregon State offense that takes a long time to get down the field has really good field position with just 57 seconds.
57 seconds to go. They got 3 receivers to the left for Gulbranson. We'll see what he decides to do here. 3 receivers to the right, excuse me, as Gulbranson takes the snap. And he is going to throw. And who is it? It's, of course, you know it, his number one guy. Breaking a tackle is Trent Walker. Walker breaks a tackle at the 40 and gets brought down at the 35. No, the 30. And now he's laying on the field. He may be injured.
Not a good sign for Beaver Nation as their best receiver is down on the turf. But again, Trent Walker coming through. Every time they throw the ball, they're looking to 7.
Every time they need a play out of Trent Walker, they get it. Has anyone even caught another pass besides him? I guess we've seen their running backs and their tight end catch a couple passes, but I don't think any other receivers have a catch. I think Trent Walker has about 5 or 6 today, but now he is laying on the ground being checked out by trainers with 48 seconds to go. The good news for the Beavers, they're already pretty much into field goal range, so they can kind of just hand the ball off a couple times if they want to and kick a field goal, go into the half tied up. The bad news for the Beavs is their best offensive weapon right now is laying on the ground. So we're going to take another quick injury timeout, and we'll be right back with you when we figure out a little bit more about what's going on. Well, Trent Walker is walking off the field being helped, but he is limping off the field. So that does temporarily really hurt the Beavs. We'll see if he comes back. We'll give you guys any updates we can get on that. Gulbranson now is getting ready for the next play. Beavs are at about the 30-yard line. Gulbranson's going to throw, and he's got wide open, making the catch, a diving, bobbling catch is Taz Reddix. Taz Reddix, the redshirt freshman from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. No touchdowns in his career. He is about 2 yards away from one there. A diving, bobbling catch. Next play, hands it off. Hankerson, and he is going to be very close. And it looks like he's brought down at the 1. So they get within the 5-yard line on the throw to Taz Reddix. They hand it off to Hankerson. Hankerson gets him down to the 1. And now the Beavers, we were just saying how crucial that last score was to give the Cougs a lead. We were not counting on this. The Beavers are 21 seconds left on the clock. They are 1 yard away from taking the lead right back. And that's, I mean, if you're the Cougars, that's got to be that's got to be a gut punch.
Absolutely. Getting shredded through the air by Ben Gulbranson, who has not thrown the ball a lot this year, only 1 start, and the Oregon State team that only has 4 passing touchdowns on the year. And to get absolutely diced up all the way down the field. It started with a good kickoff return, and then they've absolutely diced up this Washington State secondary, and everybody's been pretty wide open. It hasn't been a lot of tight window throws for Gulbranson, but it's been easy stuff.
And it looks like that last play is now under review. The Beavers think they have a touchdown. it was very close from the angle. We don't have the greatest angle. From our angle, I couldn't really tell, but the angle they just showed on the big screen made it look like he may have crossed the goal line. The Beavers sidelines, they think they have the touchdown either way. If they didn't get it there, probably would get it on the next play. Beavers still have one more timeout, so they can take at least 2, probably 3 plays within the next 20 seconds. And, maybe who knows what will happen in 3 plays, but if nothing else, they can at least kick a field goal. But they believe they have that touchdown.
Yeah, when they have still one timeout left, so they don't have to get to the ball quick and try to get it on their first try. If they don't get it, if this isn't a touchdown and they go run it again and they get stopped, they have another timeout to call, and they can run 2 run plays, which is what their strong suit is. So I don't know if he was in or not, but here I think they're going to get the call.
It sure looks like a touchdown to me. Wow.
Oh, everybody was so excited.
The boos are raining
down. I don't know. He was I feel like he was rolling on top of a lot of players, and it's probably hard to see. There was a lot of bodies in the way, and it has to be conclusive evidence, but still, Washington State has a chance to hold at the 1-yard line, but Oregon State, a very, very physical team.
Very physical. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Cougars made a lot of they pretty much made their entire early season on that goal line stop against the Huskies in Seattle. Maybe they have another one. Branson's going to throw under pressure over the head of the end zone in there. And now, wow, they're going to call a PI on the Cougars. That's going to be a pass interference. I believe is that Ethan O'Connor back there?
Holding defense, number 32.
Yeah, it's on Moku, who's been pretty handsy this year.
Yeah.
But either way, it's still going to be at the 1-yard line, and at this point, downs don't matter. So I guess if he even has a chance to catch it, you take him down to the ground. And
right.
I don't think there was not a whole lot there, but now you give Oregon State the opportunity, and it looks like Reichel is into the game, the kid from Lake Oswego, Oregon.
Jake Reichel, the kind of doubles as a linebacker and running back, and he's maybe even a fullback, and now it's going to be just a quarterback keeper. And the Beavers have it. So there we go. Beavers on top. It's Branson just snuck it in. That was the tush push is what it looked a little bit like. What you might see out of the Philadelphia Eagles. He got his fullback behind him, hands on his butt, shoved him in, and the Beavers are back on top. It's 20-17 right now, pending the PAT. And the kick is good. So we've got 13 seconds before the half, Davis, and the Beavers are now back on top. What a back-and-forth game this has been so far.
Yeah, Oregon State's really brought the punch to Washington State. They've been running the ball a lot better than Washington State, and it's been a lot of the same thing. It's been just kind of ground and pound until this last drive when Oregon State has kind of diced them up through the air. And Washington State does have an explosive offense and 2 timeouts to work with 13 seconds to go.
Yeah, you're thinking, what can you do with 2 timeouts in 13 seconds? Maybe you can get in the field goal range. Maybe you could even take a deep shot to the end zone. They've got to figure something out. So we'll see what they do. But
they almost got it against New Mexico. They were able to move the ball to about midfield from Mateer to get a shot. So wouldn't be entirely surprised if they tried to do something here. Kyle Williams has been a absolute stud on those button hook routes tonight, where he just runs up about 10 yards, steps back 2 feet, and then catches the ball. So they do have 2 timeouts to work with. So not entirely done in this half.
Not entirely done, no. There's a high end over end kick to the end zone. It's returnable, and it is going to be returned, and not for very much. Down at about the 17, 18-yard line, and that took half the time off the clock for the Cougs.
And another flag flies.
I believe that's another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
We'll see if this is on Oregon State. That could be huge for the Cougars. 15 extra yards would be monumental for Washington State. That return did not even get out to the 25, where he could have taken the opportunity to let that bounce in the end zone and brought it out to that point. But Smithson decides to take it out. We'll see what the flag is.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls against both teams.
Both teams. So it's going to offset. And so 7 seconds now probably are just going to take a knee at this point. If you had gotten out to maybe the 30-yard line or 40-yard line, they take a shot. But I think at this point, you're backed up pretty far. You might as well just take a knee and accept your fate going into halftime down 4.
Yeah. And that is what they're going to do there in knee formation. Mateer takes the knee, and that's going to wrap up the first half. So headed to the first half, a lot to work on for the Cougs. They're currently losing on the road in Corvallis. The Beavers have a 21-17 lead right now over Washington State. This is KUGR Radio. Thank you for listening. We'll be right back with you for a little bit of a halftime review.
It's Oregon State.
Crimson and gray versus the orange and black. Oregon State on senior night has a 21-17 lead over Washington State. The 8-2 Cougars and the 4-6 Beavers. Hello and welcome to Davis Hagen alongside Levi Coovert. The second half just about to get underway, but Levi, a third quarter that Washington State cannot afford to have a slow start in. How do they avoid that slow start that they've had in almost every away road game this year?
Well, two things, Davis. On defense, it starts with playing with aggression. They've been leaving guys open. They've been giving guys cushion. They need to play with aggression on defense. Don't let the Beavers take advantage of them. And offensively, it's about creativity. We saw against New Mexico maybe a lack of creativity from Ben Arbuckle's offensive schemes. I think the key right now for the offense is keep things creative, keep those play designs, throwing the Beavers off, because when you really control the Beavers off their guard, you can score on this team. This is not a team that is going to be able to stop a lot of those tough plays, but when you do the same thing over and over again, that's when the Beavers start to catch on and you give them some life. They already have a lot of life, so you have to put a dagger in the Beavers' momentum right now if you're the Cougs.
Oregon State fighting for bowl eligibility. They need 2 straight wins, one against Washington State tonight and then a win against Boise State next weekend. Washington State playing to stay alive for the Alamo Bowl. The Cougars have had a tremendous season, but they lost last week to New Mexico 38-35. They were number 18 in the country, and then they dropped out of the rankings this week. There's still a lot to play for.
You have to imagine a win probably gets them back into the rankings. So
yeah, a lot to play for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And an absolutely budding rival in Oregon State. Janikowski to kick things off. Washington State got the ball to start the first half. Oregon State will get it to start the second half. Card is back deep to return. Janikowski gets us underway in the second half, and Card will not return it. He catches it in the end zone, and Oregon State's offense will come out to the 25-yard line. Levi, this Oregon State offense leading the game in rushing and passing yards. How does Oregon State's defense lock in?
Well, I think the defense, like I said, I mean, you have to play with some aggression, particularly the defensive backs. I think perhaps the Wazoo defensive scheme was a scheme that was maybe assuming Gulbranson would struggle throwing the ball. I think they're really playing for the run, and the Beavers are taking advantage of that. They know Wazoo is biting the run, and thus they're leaving guys open kind of just over the middle.
From the 25-yard line, Oregon State sends Alla in motion. Gulbranson takes the shotgun snaps and hands it to Alla, and he's met by Wilson after a gain of just a few. And he's taken down at about the 28-yard line, gain of 3 on first down. We've seen that a few times, the jet sweep. Yeah, Reichel was the running back as they kind of get a little misdirection with Alla way out, looking like a receiver. They send him in motion and hand it to him. Gulbranson looking to go under center with Hankerson in the backfield. Hankerson's heels are on the 20-yard line. The Colorado transfer has been their leading back this year after Jam Griffin went out. Gulbranson, play action, roll out to his right, hits Jermaine Terry, and it's a first down for Oregon State. Moku takes him down, but not before he got the first down, and Oregon State off to a good start again. They've had really long drives so far this game. Time of possession's been almost all Oregon State.
Yeah, and again, the coverage just a little bit soft there for Moku. It's tough because they're guarding everyone they need to be guarding. But right now, Gulbranson is just insanely accurate.
Under center again, another play action. He's going to take a deep shot down the sideline towards Clemens, and it's incomplete. He overshot him. Steve Hall in coverage. The ball bounced at around the 20-yard line, so they were taking a deep shot on first down and 10.
And I think that was a play that the Washington State Cougars badly needed. Not even because it's a huge play. I mean, it's 1st and 10, so now it's 2nd and 10. But they need to start thinking, yeah, we can stop these guys. Gulbranson hadn't thrown an incompletion until right there. I mean, he went the entire first half, perfect completion percentage.
21-17, Oregon State has the lead. 13:46 to go. Walker back into the game. He got hurt in the first half. Gulbranson to throw, and he goes for Terry again, and he makes the catch. The big tight end finally dragged down, and he's into Washington State territory. Jermaine Terry, the Cal transfer, had 15 catches and 246 yards coming into this game. No touchdowns. He had a good first half, set him up at the 1-yard line earlier, and they've gone to him so far this second half.
Yeah, if you thought Jermaine Terry was a guy to take lightly, no longer. I think he has 5 catches already today. He had 15 coming into the game. So he's certainly having a career day for himself right now.
Johnson has checked into the game at quarterback. We've seen this a few times already tonight. Play action, Johnson to throw, checks it down to Hankerson on the left side, crosses midfield and bounces off a tackler, and he's got a first down and more out to the 30-yard line, pushed out of bounds by Ethan O'Connor, and they mark him out at the 28-yard line. Anthony Hankerson, the Colorado transfer, does a lot of great things for Oregon State coming into this game. He was their second leading receiver as far as targets go. It was Walker and then the running back Hankerson. Johnson still in the game. Reichel, the Lake Oswego kid, native of Oregon. Lake Oswego, a team that very good. They're going to the state championship next weekend.
It had been a while since we'd seen Hankerson in the game.
Johnson from the shotgun, steps up, checks it down to Hankerson, and it goes through his hands. It has. We've seen a lot of Ala tonight for Oregon State. Reichel's been in there a few times, but it's been mostly as a distraction to try to get this linebacking core to have to point him out.
And Johnson staying in the game right now at quarterback for this is a third straight play. That's the most he's had in there at quarterback.
They've been alternating between Gulbranson and Johnson. He's under center this time. It's Jabari Johnson still in the game. Hankerson, the running back. Two tight ends set for Oregon State. They toss it to the right. Thornton immediately back there, but he misses the tackle. And Al Ukta gets him behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of penetration by this Washington State defense, and it brings up third down and 11 for Oregon State, who has gone for it a few times on fourth down. Third downs, they're 3 for 5 tonight. Oregon State has thrown the ball really well tonight, surprising to us. We, talked about it in the first half. They only have 4 passing touchdowns on the year, but 197 pass yards so far tonight. Reichel, the running back, off the right hip of Gulbranson. 3 receivers to the left. Ball's on the 29-yard line. It's third down and 11. Beavers are up by 4. 11:40 to go in the third quarter. Gulbranson to throw, and it's over the middle, knocked away by Tyson Durant, the Akron transfer for Washington State. His final year of eligibility, and he makes a big play to set up fourth down, and Oregon State will send on the field goal unit.
Yeah, I love what I saw out of those couple plays, Davis. On second down especially, the Cougars able to penetrate Kyle Thornton. He didn't make the tackle, but he did get really good pressure, and they read that play perfectly. They brought out the 2 tight ends, still able to get the stop. And then that last play, absolutely great stop as well.
Everett Hayes on to kick, and it is up and through the uprights, and he nails it. Everett Hayes adds 3 for Oregon State, and the lead goes up to a touchdown for the Beavers. Everett Hayes is a guy that's a really good kicker. He's 7 for 12 this year, but he does have the school record of 60-yard field goal attempt. That time it was not quite 60, but he knocks it through, and Oregon State has the lead. So Washington State's defense bends but doesn't break. That's what we've seen all year from the Cougs. Levi, is there anything that they can do on offense to help this defense out? Do they need to potentially hold the ball for longer, as like Oregon State's doing? They're marching down the field, putting this defense out there for a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, the Cougars are kind of a big play offense, but at the same time, they do know how to put together a longer drive, a longer sustained drive. But really, the key is just put points on the board, right? You don't want your defense to feel like they have to get a stop, because I think that puts more pressure on them. And the Cougars defense has played best this season when there's not pressure on them. They've played the best when they can just have a big lead and protect it. So, yeah, I would look for the Cougars offensively, put some points on the board no matter how you can, and preferably put a touchdown on the board.
24-17, Oregon State leading Washington State in the de facto Pac-2 championship game. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. 24-17, Oregon State has the lead on Washington State. Beavers fighting for bowl eligibility and Washington State fighting for history to be made. Only 10 teams in the history of Washington State have won 9 games. They're sitting at 8-2 on the year, and a win tonight would give them the 11th team of all time to get that mark.
Yeah, and the win tonight, maybe we went into the game a little more confident, but still very possible, only down by 7 right now. A lot of football left to be played.
Oregon State kicks it off, and it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. Smithson lets it go. And John Mateer and the offense comes out onto the field to start at the 25-yard line. John Mateer leads the nation in total touchdowns coming into this week with 38. And in second place, the guy he backed up last year, Cam Ward, who has 36. John Mateer has a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown again in this game. He's been doing that all year long. He was tied with Devin Dampier of New Mexico for most consecutive games with a rushing and passing touchdown. Then he just extended that streak. Williams in motion. They're from the 25-yard line. Mateer takes the snap, looks right, sets his feet in the pocket and escapes. Sayers almost got to him. Mateer still has the ball. Houdini act, and he gets away, and Mateer down the field, and he slides at about the 42-yard line. John Mateer, magical in the pocket.
And that is that dual threat that he represents. He reads the defense so well. It feels like almost every play he has the ability to go out and make a run.
Mateer again from the shotgun. This time it's a designed quarterback keeper, and John Mateer out past midfield, and he falls down kind of awkwardly. Helped up by the offensive line. And this offensive line lost Devin Killaney this week. The starting center is out for this game. The right guard, Brock Dew, starting at center, and he's done a really nice job. He had one of the most important blocks on that earlier John Mateer rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I think the offensive line has held up pretty well today. I can't say they are really to shoulder any of the blame. No penalties really on them either.
Mateer turns and hands to Wayshawn Parker, and he's off to the left side, and a flag flies in. Wayshawn Parker has had a good day so far. He's got that burst back in him, but a flag down. We'll see what the marker is. He's on the far side of the field, and it looks like the early signal is going to be holding on the offense potentially. It could be on a receiver.
Holding offense number 2.
And it is on Kyle Williams, Washington State's best receiver. Holds. It's good to see the receivers blocking, but with sometimes too aggressive, and then their hands get away from them. They grab onto those defenders, and then that's going to be where you're called for holding. So back up the Cougs. It'll be a long way to go, but it's still first down. Leo Puluasi, the running back, checks in. They got 3 receivers stacked to the left, and they motion Mathers from left to right. Mateer, quick screen to Kyle Williams, and he makes Jordan miss, and Kyle Williams has a burst. Kyle Williams got speed. He's at the 20. He's at the 10, and he's scores! Touchdown, Washington State. What a play from Kyle Williams. That's quick screen, and he takes it to the house, and they bring themselves within an extra point of tying the game.
And that all the best makes up for that penalty. Kyle Williams, it was just a very simple screen pass, but he had that burst of speed, and that time it was Washington State who just made OSU miss. And that's what you do when you get the ball in the hands of your playmakers like Kyle Williams, and he is a playmaker. 3 touchdowns last week, 3 touchdowns the week before that. Now he adds another one today.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game. Janikowski on to add the extra point. Nick Hauber to hold, who's back in the fold. He's redshirting this year. He'll be able to play the last 4 games of the year. Janikowski's extra point is through into the band, and it's 24-24. Washington State fights back after giving up a field goal on the opening drive to Oregon State. They come back and score a touchdown to tie it up. Levi, what happened on that play with the screen? Was it just so much speed from Williams, good blocking, a little bit of both, poor tackling? What did you see?
It was a little bit of both. And Chris Hudson laid off a nice block for him as well, and everything just worked out for him. And then we often see sometimes, when a wide receiver will get a burst like that, maybe he lets up a little bit, gets taken down. But Williams just was full speed ahead the entire time. He had a mission. He wanted to score, and he did.
24 all. Washington State comes back to tie it. 9:57 to go in the third quarter. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. Corvallis, Oregon. It's been a raucous environment. 24 all. Oregon State and Washington State. Jake Dickert said this week that they are not Washington State's buddy. And it's been a physical, old-fashioned rock fight tonight. Janikowski to kick things away. Card back to return again for Oregon State. Returnable, and he decides to take a fair catch. So he caught it at about the 2-yard line, but they'll come out to the 25. Oregon State, 197 passing yards tonight, just 90 rushing yards. This is kind of the inverse of what they've been all year. They've been a run-first team and then pass later, but tonight they've had a lot of open seams in the aerial attack. Gulbranson having a nice night. Didn't miss a throw in the first half. Oregon State from the 25-yard line. Ball on the near hash. 2 receivers to his right. And has Hankerson also off to his right hip. Jermaine Terry in motion. Play action. Gulbranson rolls out to the right. Fires to Trent Walker, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. Takes it upfield, and Thornton dives in to tackle him. Good gain by Trent Walker. Gain of 9, and it brings up 2nd and 1.
Yeah, there it is again. Gulbranson, he's not trying to be a star. He's trying to be Jared Goff, and that's who he reminds me of right now. He reminds me of Jared Goff. He's just throwing the ball, quick pass, get the ball out. Don't let the pressure get to you. Just stay in the pocket, hit your first read. He's doing it, and he's super accurate.
No sacks tonight for Washington State. Gulbranson in the shotgun again. Hankerson this time to his left. Latai Moore comes up. Corner blitz off the edge, and Hankerson is up the middle for an easy first down, and he's still going out to the 45-yard line. Anthony Hankerson with one of his best runs of the night.
And there you go. A bit of maybe a overcorrection by the Cougs, because I've been saying you got to stay home. You can't just play for the run. And that time they felt like they sold out for the pass. Turns out it was a run, and it killed them.
First down for Oregon State, nearing Washington State territory. Score tied at 24 with 8:45 to go. 3 receivers to the left. Gulbranson takes the shotgun snap, hands it off up the middle to Hankerson, and Thornton is there immediately to meet him. Gain of just 1 yard And they're to the 48-yard line.
Anthony Hankerson, 2 yards on the carry.
Hankerson's been the feature back tonight. Reichel checks in for him and goes right back out. Hankerson back onto the field. Oregon State up to 206 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards tonight. Washington State at 199 pass yards with just 78 rushing yards. Second down, 8 yards to go. Walker in motion. Gulbranson takes a snap and sets up a screen, but he threw it way too high and over the head of Hankerson, and it's incomplete. Brings up third down and 8. Not quite into Washington State territory. They've gone for it a few times on fourth down already tonight, Levi. Do they do it again if they don't get it on third down?
I think it depends on how far they go. My guess is they'll probably try to run the ball, get a few yards, and if they're within 3, I think they do go for it. We've seen that they've set that precedent already. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Empty set for Gulbranson. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. All on the 48-yard line, moving right to left. Quick passes, intercepted Ethan O'Connor. Big play, and it was a slow developing play, and Gulbranson threw it right to 24 and white.
And that was about as big of an interception as you can come up with. I was just thinking, the Cougars have really thrived on the turnovers, the interceptions, the fumble recoveries. They hadn't done one yet today. And the freshman, Ethan O'Connor, just saw his eyes, read his eyes. Look, he's going to throw. There was nobody in the backfield, so just sit back, look for his eyes. He could tell he was throwing there, and Gulbranson kind of just gave it away. Yeah. O'Connor was right there, got a great jump on it. Absolutely a phenomenal play for the freshman.
Yeah, Reddix was the intended target, and he ran a short 5-yard hook. And, it was a long throw. He threw it from almost the middle of the field all the way to the sideline, and it just didn't have the velocity on it. And O'Connor gets another interception for Washington State. 24 all. Cougars now with the ball inside Oregon State territory. They'll start at the 49-yard line when we come back. 24 all, 7:53 to go. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. Washington State's offense will be back out at the 49-yard line of the Oregon State Beavers after the huge interception by Ethan O'Connor, his 4th of the year. He leads the team in interceptions. Of course, he had that big one against Fresno State, the pick 6 that gave Washington State the win against the Bulldogs, and he has another big play against the Beavers. Wayshawn Parker, the running back for Washington State. John Mateer at quarterback. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and a tight end on the left side of the formation from the 49-yard line. Mateer in the shotgun. hands it off to Wayshawn Parker up the middle, and he burrows his way for about 3-4 yards. Good first down play for Washington State, trying to establish the run, but a tough defensive line for Oregon State that has been kind of pushed around all year, and they finally said we're going to have enough, and haven't even allowed 100 yards rushing tonight. Second down, 7 yards to go. 3 receivers to the right, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Mateer empty formation. Just over midfield. Takes a shotgun snap. Looking long, going for Chris Hudson, and he is out of bounds when he tried to make the catch, and
Hudson's arguing for a flag, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree. It was probably a toss-up call.
Yeah, Dickert was furious. He was racing down there to ask why there wasn't a penalty called, but I don't know if that ball was catchable from Chris Hudson.
Yeah, I think if it was a better thrown ball, you would have been a better argument for the flag.
It's 3rd down and 7. The chainsaw out again. There's been a lot of 3rd downs, and Washington State is just 2 of 4. 3 receivers to the left. Pulawasi, the running back on the right hip, and Mateer. Score is tied at 24. They need a first down. Mateer steps up in the pocket, hit from behind, and it goes down. Samisi Saluni, the team captain, got honored at senior night for Oregon State, and he halts the drive for the Cougs. John Mateer gets taken down, and he didn't even get the throw off.
Yeah, Saluni did a great job, kind of just as a QB spy right there, and he had an opportunity, and he got it. John Mateer didn't stand a chance there. Probably should have thrown it away, but hindsight's always 20/20. Mateer's trying to make a play. He's trying to extend and keep the play alive.
Huber back to punt. Trent Walker to return, and he's going to let this one bounce at about the 10-yard line, and Smithson corrals it at the 9, and that's where Oregon State's offense will come out. They've had a lot of time with the ball tonight. They've got 24 points on the board, and for a team that only scored 20 points in the last 3 games, to have 24 at this point in the game, pretty good start for Oregon State. They've been playing with a lot of pride for a 4-6 team that's fighting for bowl eligibility.
Yeah, and once again, Washington State, they're playing with fire right now. They're playing with fire. They have liked to kind of play with their enemies, play with their food a little bit. And we saw them get some very close wins earlier in the season. We'll see if they can do it again.
Gilbranson under center, hands it off to Hankerson, and he's met in the hole by Moku, but he drives his feet, and it takes almost 10 out of the 11 Cougars to bring him down, and he's still running, and he's finally wrapped down by Cyrus Webster, but he got all the way out to the 15-yard line. Strong run from Anthony Hankerson.
And that's what you talked about, Davis. They're playing with heart. They are pushing their guys. They are pushing and shoving the way, getting every little inch that they can get. And that's how you do it when you're playing with heart. That's how you do it when you can tell these guys, they want that bowl game. They want to win on senior night for their fans, who are, by the way, great crowd tonight.
It's been an electric atmosphere. It's 2nd down. Gilbranson, play action, and he's got Trent Walker wide open. There's no one over there. He's out to the 30, to the 40, and before he's pushed out of bounds by Moku. But another play-action rollout leaves Trent Walker wide open, and Oregon State has a first down.
So I guess he's feeling healthy.
Yeah, we saw him go down in the first half, holding his leg, it looked like, and then he's back, and he's got a great burst still. First down, it was a 25-yard play for Trent Walker. They've got the ball at the 41-yard line, pushing towards Washington. Brenton back in the shotgun with Hankerson to his left. Hands it off up the middle, and he dives forward for a gain of a few out to the 46-yard line, gain of 5. He got half of what they need for a first down. Brings up 2nd and 5 to go. With 4:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Beavers 24, Cougars 24. It's been a very exciting game so far. Both teams playing with a lot of passion, a lot of pride, but Oregon State has kind of come out and thrown more punches than Washington State so far. A team that was an 11-point underdog coming into this game. Reichel, the running back, off the right hip of Gilbranson. Hands it to him, and Latai Mua comes from behind and takes him down. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage, if at all. And Latai Mua is slow to get up. Milani had to help him up. They bring in a new defensive line unit on potentially a throwing down for Oregon State. 3rd and 5, under 4 minutes to go. Score still at 24 apiece. 3 receivers to the left, nobody out to the right side other than the tight end on the end of the line of scrimmage. It's Jermaine Terry, Walker in motion. Branson takes a snap. Crossing route for Walker, makes the catch, but it's short of the first down, sticks. Gushikin took him down right at midfield. It was a gain of 4. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 1. Gone for it a few times tonight. It's 4th down and 1 from the 50. They're in an under center formation. Gilbranson has...
Why not, right?
Yeah, he's kept one already to score at midfield. 4th down and 1, and he pushes the pile forward, and he got it. No doubt about that one. He picked up 2. He only needed 1, and Gilbranson gets him a 1st down.
OSU.
Inside Washington State territory. 2:50 to go. Clock is ticking away from the 47-yard line. Oregon State moving right to left. Under center, Gilbranson has Hankerson. The single set back. Taking their time, watching the play clock run down. And it gets under 10, and they snap it. Play action. Gilbranson going long. Double coverage, and it's in and out of the hands of Clemens. Durant looked like he might have got a piece of it. But another shot taken on 1st down by Oregon State, and it brings up 2nd and 10.
And there you go. We're beginning to see some of Gilbranson's weaknesses a little bit. It took a while for them to show. It really did. I mean, he was playing lights out, but you're starting to see the deep ball, a little bit of a weakness for him. Pretty much any time that his first option isn't there, a bit of a weakness for him. So we're beginning to see maybe the Wazoo defense catch up to speed on how they can stop this offense.
47-yard line. Reddick's in motion. Quick throw out to Walker is caught. And a gain of 3, maybe 4 for Walker, who's been the primary target on every throw that they've needed so far. They've gone to number 7 in black, and he's come up clutch a lot of times. It's 3rd down and 6. Ball's on the 43-yard line. That previous play was a gain of 4. Approaching 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. This game has gone by wicked fast. Empty set for Oregon State. No running backs in the backfield. They've got 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right on a big 3rd down and 6 inside Washington State territory. Gilbranson, clean pocket, floats it over the middle, and it is caught by Terry, and he breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Oregon State, and the Beavers go back on top, 30-24. Jermaine Terry's first touchdown of the season. Gilbranson put it in his breadbasket, and it's an easy touchdown. There is a flag down behind the play. And it's pass interference on the defense, and Jermaine Terry scores regardless of the interference. And for Washington State to watch that guy run into the end zone, not good, as Oregon State has 30 points up on the board. And it's been something that Washington State has struggled with all year, is containing teams and not letting them score. Extra points looming for Oregon State, and it's through. 31-24. Beavers have the lead. Minute 41 to go in the 3rd quarter. What was the breakdown that happened that time, Levi? This defense has been a bend but don't break between the 20s, but that time it's a splash play for Oregon State.
Well, what I saw was 3 guys who all couldn't bring down one tight end, and why wasn't one of them guarding the tight end? Yeah, that's the question. Why wasn't, who was assigned to Terry? I honestly don't know who's assigned to Terry, but the bottom line is, even if none of them were covering Terry, they should have been able to make the tackle, and he bounced literally right off them. So good on Terry. I mean, yeah, sometimes that happens, and like you said, one team is playing really aggressive tonight, and one team looks like they're not sure if they want to be here. And, I'll tell you what, the defense is clearly getting tired. the offense is scoring. Maybe we need to see the offense put together a bit of a longer drive, though, because we're seeing OSU put together these sustained drives, these sustained attacks. And then Washington State gets the ball, they score in 3 plays, but then the defense has to go right back out there. So it might be nice to see a Washington State touchdown drive that can chew up maybe 4, 5, 6 minutes off the clock. That would be what's best, I think, for the defense.
Kick is away, and it's into the back of the end zone for a touchback once again. And so it's 31-24. Washington State down 7 with 1:41 to go. Offense coming back out. They'll start at the 25-yard line. They've got 75 yards to go. And Mateer, a guy that scores just a crazy amount of touchdowns every week, leads the nation in touchdowns. What does he have left in his magic satchel? First down and 10 for the Cougs. 3 receivers to the right. And it's a reverse to Kyle Williams, and he's got some room to work. Picking his way through the defense out to the 30 to the 35 before he's finally ushered out of bounds, and a flag flies in after the play. And there are some Beavers back in deep of the Washington State bench. It looks like it was Exodus Ayers who was pretty deep into enemy territory.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 23.
And that's who it was on. So he gets pretty deep into the Cougar sideline and commits a penalty. So Washington State gets an extra 15 yards on top of the 10-yard reverse from Kyle Williams. In total, it's a 25-yard play out to midfield after just 1 play. They got 2 running backs in the game this time. Parker gets the handoff, and he's up the middle before he's contacted. And he gets a nice gain. Patterson takes him down.
That was a key for Patterson. Patterson kind of just barrel rolled into Parker. If Patterson doesn't make that stop, Parker might have been gone because he would have had open field ahead of him. So good on Patterson for recognizing that and doing whatever it took to make that tackle.
3 receivers to the left. Washington State into Oregon State territory. Pump fake to the left, and he goes back to the right for Hernandez, who makes the catch, and nothing doing. Patterson makes his 2nd consecutive tackle. The ball is placed at the 39-yard line, and that's a first down. 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Washington State will have to snap it one more time. 25 on the game, on the play clock. And they're going to take their time, probably whittle this down, maybe just hoping for one more play of this 3rd quarter. They're down 7. Beavers have the lead. A team that is in Oregon State that has lost 5 in a row. Hand off to Puluasi off the right side, and he's taken down in the backfield. Leo Puluasi could not get away from Thomas Collins. And I think a team like Washington State, relatively harmless 3rd quarter. They are still down, but they only gave up 10 to Oregon State as opposed to 20 points like they did last week against New Mexico. So this time around, Levi, a 4th quarter that could come down to the last possession, whoever gets it last. What do you think is going to happen in the 4th quarter? What does Washington State need to do on this drive to secure some points?
Well, like I said, obviously you have to find the end zone, but I really think I would love to see some sustainability in this offense. I don't want to see, incompletion, and then on 3rd down you just sail it to the end zone and get a 40-yard touchdown. I don't think that's necessarily helpful for the defense either. You got to get that defense some rest, and you got to just find a way to pierce through Oregon State. Oregon State's vulnerable, but if you can't score on them, you can't beat them. You said relatively harmless. A little bit of disagreement, maybe. I mean, they went into the quarter down by 4. Now they're down by 7. So, yeah. But you're right. Compared to last week, better performance.
But still,
they do tend to play well in the 4th quarter.
Still an Achilles heel for this team. The 3rd quarter in away games has just hit them every week, and I don't know what the problem is necessarily, because that's something that should be able to be addressed. And by week 5 maybe, but at this point in the season with just one more regular season game after this game, it's been pretty lethargic third quarters, and the score is 31-24. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Blues. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter. Washington State down 7 to the Beavers. A monumental fourth quarter for Washington State and Oregon State. 31-24. Beavers have the lead. Cougar offense has the ball. Uluwasi lost yards on the last play of the third quarter. It's 2nd and long for Washington State inside Oregon State territory. Mateer, who has 3 total touchdowns on the night, takes the snap. Looks left and fires left to Hudson, and it's knocked away. Incomplete. Thomas in coverage, and Hudson still down. Helped up by Meredith, but an acrobatic attempt, but undercut by Skylar Thomas.
Yeah, Skylar Thomas made a heck of a play on that ball. Just about came away with an interception. The Beavers have come alive right now. Not that they weren't. They've been alive all game. John Mateer's going to cook up something special on this next play.
Absolutely. It's a major third down for Washington State. This place is really loud. John Mateer has been the focal point on third down so far tonight for Washington State. What does he have this time? Hudson in motion, returns to where he came, and a whistle is blown. A flag flies, and it's probably going to be another delay of game. We saw one in the first half against the Beavers. This time it goes against Washington State, and they're 5 yards further from the sticks, and that's going to be third down and 19 yards to go for Washington State. They've struggled today on third downs. They're relatively close. This one is a country mile away. They're 2 of 5 on third downs tonight. This place is absolutely going nuts. 19 yards to go for Washington State. Mateer in the shotgun. Steps away from pressure, gets rid of it, and it's caught by Chris Hudson, and he dives. Did he get the first down? They're going to mark him just short. 18 yards picked up. Chris Hudson with a huge catch for Washington State. What a play.
And they're going to, looks like they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. You may try to draw them off sides, kick the long field goal.
And they will blow the whistle. They're going to review the play. They marked him out of bounds short of the first down sticks, 1 yard away. It was an 18-yard gain ruled on the field. A big review coming up.
And let's take a look at the replay on the screen when it happens. It looks like he's definitely reaching across the marker. It's going to depend on where they spot him. And I know college, you only have to have the 1 foot in bounds, so it's the last foot is where they would mark him.
Yeah, his foot does look like it's out of bounds as he's reaching for the first down. Where is the ball is the question. It looks really close. He had to get to the 29-yard line. They marked him out at the 30. So he's a yard short, and here's the call.
After review, ruling on the field is confirmed.
And they confirmed the call on the field, so it's 4th down and 1. From the 30-yard line, they need to get to the 29 of the Beavers.
And Washington State is sending the offense back onto the field, so here you go. We saw the Beavers pick up a 4th and 1 on their last drive. It was just Branson did a little bit of a push play, just went right in there. Can John Mateer and the Cougars do the same thing? What's going to happen here?
A massive 4th down for Washington State. They're in an I formation. They bring in their big running back, Javinsky Schlenbaker, with Cooper Mathers as the fullback. Who wants it more on 4th down? John Mateer under center. Takes a snap, and it's a QB sneak up the middle, and he got the first down.
Ooh, good job. Great execution. Exactly what the Beavers did on the last drive, and this time it's the Cougars who get the job done. How about that?
John Mateer using his near 600-pound squat ability to get that first down, and Washington State can sort of calm down a little bit. It's 1st down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Mateer keeps it, and he's taken down by Andy Alfieri in the backfield. He goes right back to the 30-yard line, and they're behind the chains once again.
And that's really what you had to avoid there. I mean, you're in field goal range now. Just don't lose yards. But once again, that's the second sack of the drive. And the Cougars offensive line, maybe we're seeing a little bit of that weakness without your starting center. It's tough to lose to your starting center.
Exactly. Alfieri for Oregon State, a guy that has started at tight end 3 times this year, gets a massive tackle for loss. Mateer in the shotgun on 2nd and long. Clean pocket, but he has to escape. No one was open, and he's got room to run. Mateer out to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, finally out of bounds, and he picks up a 1st down for Washington State.
Very reminiscent of a similar run he had against the University of Washington earlier in the season. Right after being sacked, right after a loss, but he doesn't care. He's just going to do what he thinks is best for the team. And right there, he had a wide open lane. He took it. And that's the thing. A lot of quarterbacks are scared to run. Not John Mateer. He will run straight into the fire.
Absolutely. And he is not shy about it. Empty set for Washington State. 3 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left stacked. It's Cooper Mathers and Puluasi to the left. They motion Puluasi even further out. Mateer looking his way, and he comes back to the right, steps up in the pocket, evading more rushers. Mateer steps through down to the 4-yard line, gain of just 1. A lot of excitement for just 1-yard gain. And it's 2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line. 12 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and Melvin Jordan, the linebacker for Oregon State, who missed last week's game, a team captain, battling through injuries, down. He's walking off the field, but they're going to blow the whistle for an injured player with 12 minutes and 19 seconds to go in this game. Beavers 31, Cougars 24. Jordan being helped off the field. He's just to the far hash. He's walking pretty slow. Training staff at Oregon State wants to make sure that their player's okay. They've been dealing with a lot of injuries this year. Fighting in a good game against Washington State for bowl eligibility. They need to win their last 2 games. They have Washington State tonight and then Boise State next week. Ball is on the 4-yard line. 12-15 and running. 2nd down and goal. Schlenbaker, the running back. Mateer, direct snap to him, and it's a design keeper, and Mateer fights to the end zone, uses his strength, and scores a touchdown. Washington State right back in it. Extra point can tie it.
And there you go. It's a high-flying offense, and sometimes that's all you need is John Mateer to run the ball. That was 4 straight running plays for Mateer, or 3 straight running plays for Mateer. and he picks it in himself. He deserved it after that 30-yarder to get him into the 5-yard line. John Mateer, man, he is a heck of a player.
He is a heck of a player because coming into tonight, he had 38 touchdowns, which led the nation. Tonight, he's got 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing and 2 throwing. 42 touchdowns on the season is absolutely ludicrous. Janikowski's extra point on the way to tie it is good. 31-31 with 12 minutes to go. Magic Mateer for Washington State has the game tied. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Blues. Will be back with a crazy finish in Corvallis.
Back from the seat.
31 all, 12:04 to go. John Mateer just scored a touchdown to tie it, and Janikowski kicked in the extra point. He's out to kick off the ball again. It's been a pretty fun environment in Corvallis. Fans have stopped by to talk to us a few times. But this has been an electric atmosphere in the final home game of the year for the Beavers. It's senior night. Janikowski to kick things away. 12:04 to go. Oregon State going to get the ball back and have a chance to take the lead unless the Cougars can stop them. And this ball is sailing into the end zone, and Card takes the kickoff, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line for Oregon State, who has 282 passing yards tonight. What has gone right for this offense, or what has gone wrong in the secondary for Washington State?
Well, like I said, Culbertson is doing the Jared Goff thing. He is accurate beyond measure. He's hitting his first reads, hitting his second reads. He's staying in the pocket. He's not trying to do too much. That's really important. He's not trying to do too much. He knows if he tries to do too much, he might make some mistakes. So he's just playing within himself, and that's what has gone right for this team so far.
Does have the one interception, but it's been a relatively great night for Gulbranson. And they start from the 25 with a handoff to Hankerson, and he disappears into the white uniforms of Washington State. Kyle Thornton there to take him down. Second down and 9 for Oregon State.
And I like the defense. They look a lot less tired on this drive. I think they got about 12-ish minutes of rest there. That's huge.
Yeah.
It goes so far for them.
Second down and 9, 11 and a half to go. 31 all. Ball on the 26-yard line. Oregon State moving left to right. Gulbranson in the shotgun. Fires, and it's intercepted by Alukta, and he might make it all the way, and he scores! Touchdown, Buddha Alukta! What a play! The fans predicted the play. He said pick six, and Alukta gets the interception.
Alukta, if that's the cap of his season, that's been an incredible season for Buddha Alukta. Perfect read on the play. Nobody there to stop him. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better. And just what I said, he made a mistake. He looked too long at his target, and that's both times the interception. You stare in too long at your target, and that's when the Cougars are able to read it. They jump it. They got you. First lead of the game for the Cougs.
Wow.
No, second lead of the game for the Cougs.
37-31. Washington State staying alive. Janikowski's extra point on the way, and true. Wow. 38-31. So Oregon State, a team that relies on running the ball a lot, thinks they can have something in the pass game tonight, and then Buddha Alukta, the linebacker, steps in and takes it to the house.
Well, I'll tell you what, Davis, this is Pac-12 After Dark. And Pac-12 After Dark never disappoints. Sometimes it might disappoint for your team, but as a fan, for the viewing experience, it never disappoints.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're seeing again right here on KUGR.
38-31, 11-19 to go. Washington State just got a massive pick six from Buddha Alukta. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. Absolute pandemonium has broken out in Corvallis with Buddha Alukta getting the pick six to set Washington State up with a lead with 11-19 to go. Levi, what a moment for that young man wearing number 0 in white.
Yeah, he's had an incredible season. I think that's his 4th turnover. He had a fumble recovery, a couple interceptions already. Alukta has just been an absolute presence on the defense, and it couldn't be a better human being for it to happen to. Buddha Alukta, every time he goes out, does an interview, he's got a smile on his face. He is a true representation of what it means to be a Cougar.
Janikowski to kick things away. 38-31. Washington State has stormed back into the lead, and it has almost deflated the Beavers sideline, but the crowd is still rocking.
Crowd's still rocking. They still believe.
They do still believe, and Card will take it in the end zone. Yeah, they believe in the Beav, but Gulbranson has thrown 2 pretty critical interceptions, and it's been relatively easy picks for the other side. He kind of, points to his target. I'm going to throw it here, and then does, and then interceptions.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying. I mean, this is a quarterback who he looks to his first read, he looks to his second read. He just goes through his reads, goes through his progressions, and if you're able to recognize that as a defense and you're able to figure that out, that's when you're able to kind of jump the route and get those interceptions. They did that twice now.
First down and 10 for Oregon State. Right back where they started on the previous drive. Gilbranson, play action, and they still have faith in him, but the ball is fumbled, and it's into the hands of Jermaine Terry. Kyle Thornton got to him. They're going to call an incompletion. But they put their faith in the hands of Ben Gilbranson, and Kyle Thornton stormed into the backfield and threw him to the ground, but Gilbranson able to throw that away.
Yeah, if I was Gilbranson, I would have probably maybe taken aim for the sidelines instead of almost was a fumble there. But yeah, you're right. They keep his faith in him. I will say this, though. If I was them, I might switch things up, maybe do a couple of running plays, maybe bring in Gabari Johnson for a little bit, see what he can do. They were having success when he was in the game.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Empty set for the Beavers. Quick screen set up, and that goes off the back of the lineman, and there's a penalty flag flying in. Trent Walker was the intended target on that screen, and his shoulder pads have come out of his jersey because he was held. We'll see what the call is. But the ball hit.
We saw them asking for a flag, and then about 2 seconds later, the flag came in, and I think that's going to be a holding on the Cougs.
The ball hit their best offensive lineman, Joshua Gray.
And it is. So it goes against Stephen Hall. And yeah, when you see that jersey pull, it's tough because it's not a bunch of contact really.
Yeah.
But you can't be tugging on the jersey, so that's a fair penalty if that's what was going on down there from Stephen Hall.
Yep. There was a big hold. I mean, his pads flew out of his jersey, so there's no doubt about the hold.
Yeah.
And extra 10 yards for Oregon State. It's first down from the 35. Branson in the shotgun, hands it off to Hankerson. Bounces it to the left, and he's submarined by Steve Hall and Kapenagushkin. Gain of 6 for Oregon State. Sets up 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. They don't huddle. And they're right on top of the ball again. We're going to check to the sideline. Avoiding substitution, so Washington State cannot sub themselves. Washington State does like to alternate defensive line sets depending on the down and distance. 3 receivers to the right for Oregon State. 38-31, Cougs have the lead. Hand off to Hankerson off the left side, and Gusta wrangles him to the ground.
Yeah, that was a great second effort for Gusta. I thought Hankerson maybe had the first down there. Then Gusta just kind of came in and said, nope. It is going to be very close still, but a good play by the Cougs D-line. And now, like you said, bringing in those substitutions, mixing some things up on 3rd and short, going for maybe more of a heavier package.
3rd down and 1 yard to go for the Beavers. Ball's on the 44-yard line, moving left to right. They're on the far hash. Gilbranson under center with Hankerson in the backfield, and it's a QB sneak once again. Gilbranson pushing. Does he have enough? And it looks like he's going to have it. It's a first down for Oregon State to the 45-yard line. He got all that he needed.
And that play has been kind of automatic for them. They've done it 3 times now. Once on a 4th and 1, they got it. Once on an end zone, 1st and goal, they got it. And then once on a 3rd and 1, and they got it again. So when you need a yard or two, just let Gilbranson do the QB sneak. It's been very effective for guys like Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts. We're seeing Gilbranson do it right now.
First down from the 45-yard line, 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Beavers down 7. Pressure coming. It was Roth who hit Gilbranson in the back and slow to get up. The pass was incomplete out to the left side towards Hankerson, and Gilbranson is coming out of the game. Johnson coming into it.
Yeah, Gilbranson hit by 2 Cougs as he threw, and maybe could have had an argument for a roughing the passer penalty. If this was the NFL, probably would have been. And Gilbranson maybe tried to sell it there, but they ended up subbing him out. I think he's fine. I think it's just going to be a design play for Johnson. I think Gilbranson will be just okay.
Terry in motion from the left side, and it's a handoff to Hankerson off the same left side, and he's finally taken down by Keith Brown. into Washington State territory, and it brings up a big third down again for Oregon State.
So that's the danger when you bring in Gamari Johnson. Johnson just has this element of surprise to him. Like, we don't know what he's going to do. So the defense now, all of a sudden, you have to account for Hankerson, but you also have to account for Johnson. And so that's why you see Hankerson having better runs when Johnson's the one handing him the ball. I don't know if that would continue to last if Johnson keeps staying in the game, but it happens for these one-off plays when you don't know what's going to happen. It could be a trick play every time.
On third down, Gilbranson under center and another QB sneak. He needs 3 or 4, and he might have it all, and he's got enough for a first down. On third down and 3, they run a QB sneak, and he goes forward, pushed by Jake Reichel, and it's a first down for Oregon State. And Jabari Johnson back into the game for the Beavers.
And it goes back to the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That play just keeps on working, so why not keep on doing it, right? I mean, you can get 3 yards every time you try the QB sneak. You might as well keep doing it.
Johnson in the shotgun. The running threat is a real deal, and he rolls out to his right, and he takes off running, and McKenna cannot get him down. It was Gushikin that came in to finish the tackle, and he gets 10 yards and a first down. So Jabari Johnson, the running threat, has been the Achilles heel of this defense all year. Dampier at 193 last week for the Lobos. Johnson so far with a rushing touchdown, and he's had some explosive plays for the Beavers. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hankerson, the running back, off the left hip of Johnson. He motions him out to the right, and he never set his feet, but he gets the handoff, and he's out to the left side, and he's got enough for another Beaver first down.
And again, we've seen that play maybe 3 or 4 times now from them, and it's been automatic every time. It's just Johnson takes a snap, you hand it off, Hankerson gets Cougars. Obviously, you want to expect Hankerson's ability that Johnson keeps it himself, so you have to kind of one.
So they're going to mark him that he's bounds, and it's second down and 1.
I'm going to guess we may see a QB keeper right here.
That would be most likely correct. There is Johnson still in the game. Under center with Reichel in the backfield. 3 tight ends to the right. And it's a play action, and a whistle is blown. The back judge comes in. It doesn't appear to be a flag on the field. It could be a timeout by Oregon State. And it is. So timeout Beavers with 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go. They called their first timeout of the half. They need 1 yard. The ball's on the 24-yard line on the far hash. They just need 1 yard. And a team that's relatively great at those quarterback sneaks. A little bit surprised that they're not just playing the long game to get the first down, take some more time off the clock. Instead, they call a valuable timeout. These timeouts in close games are kind of like gold.
Yeah, the timeouts are very valuable, and Washington State would be wise to keep all 3 of theirs. If you end up in a situation where you've got 3 minutes to go, you need to get a key stop, you want to be able to take those 3 timeouts. Yeah, I mean, that's about as much as I can say about that. Washington State, you'd love to get a stop here. Even if they score, it's still a tie game, so not terrible. But you'd love to hold them to a field goal. But I wonder, honestly, this may be just 4 down territory, do you think, for the Beavs?
Most likely. They've gone for it a lot tonight. Trent Bray, first drive of the game.
In fact, have they punted yet at all?
I do not think they've punted at all tonight.
Yeah.
They've gone for it on 4th downs. They've turned it over a few times with interceptions. Oregon State is down 7. They need a touchdown to tie the game. There's only 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Beavers have had an explosive offense tonight, which is kind of the opposite of how the season has gone for them. 5 straight losses for the Beavers, and the last 3 games just 20 points scored. But they've got a chance to potentially upset the Cougs. They've got them within 7. They had the tie ball game, but then Gulbranson threw the interception. There's a pick 6 by Buda Al-Ukta, and Washington State's defense has been relatively relatively Swiss on this year with between the 20s. They've given up a lot of yards. Is there anything that you would do specifically here? Do you think they should bring more pressure or play off of it? Or do you just expect a quarterback sneak, get the first down, and then from there, it's all fair game?
I'm going to guess they're going to run a quarterback sneak, get the first down, and then from there, I think they're probably going to hand it off again. This drive, they really have returned to running the ball. They've just really been hammering the run, and whether it's Johnson, whether it's Gulbranson on the keeper, whether it is the name escapes Hankerson, whether it's Hankerson, they're giving the ball to their running backs, giving the ball to their quarterbacks, and they are just letting them go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do. I mean, the last time they were in the red zone, or not in the red zone, but the last time they had the ball, they obviously threw an interception. Since then, they really haven't thrown at all.
Washington State trying to get a stop on this drive to give the ball back to the offense to potentially ice the game, but Oregon State has other plans. Gulbranson is under center, and it's a QB sneak right up the middle, and he's got a first down once again. Oregon State resets the down marker, and
5 times.
Yeah, that's
3 times in this drive.
And this is the exact thing that happened last week to Oregon State against Air Force. They ran the QB sneak really effectively, and the Falcons controlled the ball for 44 minutes of that game. Oregon State doing something similar on this game with Gulbranson getting those QB sneaks, and they're getting a lot of yards on it. They got about 3. The ball is to the 22-yard line, first down and 10, 3 receivers to the left side. The ball's on the far hash. Play action. Gulbranson gets it out to Trent Walker, and he's got Goshikin, and the first down gain of a few, and a flag flies in after the play. Did not quite see what happened on that one, but there's been a lot of chippy plays after the play. 5.5 minutes to go. This could be a potentially game-changing penalty, depending on who it is and what it is. The refs are meeting at about the 20-yard line. They're having a discussion. 3 of them over there, 1 white hat, and 2 other officials. And here is the call.
Illegal touching, offense number 7. Number 7 was covered up and was ineligible. 5-yard penalty. Walks him down.
They call illegal touching on Trent Walker, and they're going to back him up.
That'll help out Wazoo.
Absolutely it will, and it'll be second down and 15 from the 27-yard line. That is a big penalty because he got 5 positive yards, and then they lose 5 from the original line of scrimmage. So
2nd and 5, you could basically just QB sneak it 3 times. You're guaranteed to get a first down.
Exactly.
The way this game's going.
Under center play action. Gulbranson rolls to his right, gets it to Walker, and he is eligible this time, and he's pushed out of bounds by Latai Mua. And he got a lot of that penalty yardage back, but it's just to the 20-yard line, so a gain of 7, and it is third down and 8. Oregon State looking to tie the game. They're down 7. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. You got to think it's 4-down territory for the Beavers. Not a lot of time left in this game. 4:45 and counting. The clock is running. There's 9 seconds on the play clock. 4:40 on the game clock. 38-31. Cougars have the lead. Ball on the 20. 3rd and 8. Gulbranson looking left. Firing to the end zone for Walker, and it's incomplete. And it looked like Walker just kind of stopped going for it, but it was way over his head as well.
Fantastic coverage from the Cougs there. Yes. I mean, it's hard to make that catch. I was kind of surprised they didn't even ask for a penalty.
Yeah. Steve Hall had the coverage, and it was really tight. Very effective. Walker's been their go-to receiver. It's 4th down.
They are going for it. Wow.
The game would not quite be over, but there is a lot riding on this 4th down. Gulbranson takes it. He needs 8 yards. Steps out to the right, fires towards the end zone, and it's caught by Noga at the 5-yard line, and Oregon State has the first down.
And that's where that defense, they tried to go all out for the sack. They went for the blitz play, and they forgot about Jeremiah Noga.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking there's 4 minutes left. Oregon State, the way this drive is going, probably going to score a touchdown. how much time are the Cougs going to have? They probably have about 3 minutes to score the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, under 4 minutes to go.
And like you said, that's why you keep the timeouts.
That is why you keep the timeouts. Washington State is an explosive offense. The ball on the 5-yard line. It's first down and goal, and a flag flies. And it's going to be delay a game on Oregon State.
And that's a dagger because you just get the big gain,
And
a huge fourth down conversion.
they're going to call a timeout.
They're
So
calling
Trent
a timeout,
Bray
okay.
bails out the offense. But again, that's the second timeout called by Oregon State. And we were just talking about timeouts. So that is 2 gone for Oregon State. Washington State still has all their timeouts. If they score quick, when Washington State scores quick, all of a sudden Oregon State, you don't have a lot of time to stop. Or if Washington State gets a stop here, they can almost run the clock entirely out because Oregon State doesn't have that timeout. They do have on their side the 2-minute timeout, which will stop the clock. So technically they do have 2 more times to stop the clock, but only 1 more timeout.
If Wazoo gets a stop, at this point, they would need 2 first downs to win.
Yeah.
But that's a big if, right? Because it's first down and 5 at the 5-yard line. So that's a big if. But even if Wazoo doesn't get the stop, you have 3 minutes, 3 timeouts to score. And then if you don't score, you can trust your defense. You say a prayer for your defense and kick.
They're under center. They got 3 receivers to the left. Branson sends Walker in motion, and it's a quick screen to him, and the ball was the backwards pass. It's live, and Washington State scoops it up, and they've got the ball, and they might win it. Thornton has it. It was a backwards pass, and disaster for the Beavers.
And we'll have to see what the refs say, but you're right. On the backwards pass, that could be interpreted as a fumble, live ball.
A massive call coming up. If they say it was Beavers, it would be Washington State ball, but it looks like they might call an incomplete pass and give the Beavers another chance at the 5-yard line. But if that was a backwards pass, Washington State scooped it up, and that could have been
it was a forward pass. Let's look.
It was knocked away. I think it was a forward pass.
It was knocked away. It was a forward pass, batted away.
Yeah, and good play by the referees to let it go. But if that was a fumble, the game would practically be over because, as we just mentioned, Oregon State only has 1 timeout left. So huge call and a lucky break for Oregon State. So scratch that. None of it happened. And it's second down and 5 with 3s on the clock. 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Washington State up 7. Gilbranson under center from the 5-yard line. Turns and hands to Hankerson up the middle, and he didn't get anything. Stuffed by the Cougars, and now it's third down and 5. They need 5 yards to that end zone.
I'll tell you what, if I were them, I'd QB sneak it. I'd run it. I'd sneak it once, get to the 2-yard line, sneak it twice, get into the end zone. That's probably would be more effective than any passing play they could muster up at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. They tried a pass on first down. It got knocked away. They handed it to Hankerson on second down. He got stuffed, and it's third down and 5. Gilbranson under center. Takes the snap, play action, looking to the end zone, firing over the middle, and it is caught. Darius Clemens caught it, and it's a touchdown for the Beavers, and an extra point away from this game. And Washington State gets scored on with 2:45 to play in the fourth quarter. We got ourselves a thriller in Corvallis.
And I'll tell you what I would do right here if I was the Beavers, Davis. I'd go for 2.
You would?
I would. There's nothing to lose. If you lose this game, we'll probably lose to Boise State anyways. Go for 2. Try to win. The problem with kicking it is now the worst that can happen is halftime, is overtime, right? But if you go for 2, you put the pressure on the Cougs that have to score.
Extra point is good, so they don't listen to Levi and they get the extra point. 38-38 with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go.
It's Pac-12 chaos. It certainly is.
It absolutely is, and it's great to see Pac-12 teams playing each other. Oregon State did have a game against Cal earlier in the year where it wasn't a Pac-12 matchup, but an old foe that the Beavers are used to seeing. And this game will be played twice next year, a home-and-home series, and they're going to be seeing a lot of each other in the coming years, and these games are always close between Washington State and Oregon State. This one no different. Tie ball game with 2:45 to go. It's been an electric night in Corvallis. The fans have been jumping around. The wind has been absolutely shredding everyone. But there is a lot of football to be played with 2:45 to go. The game is on the line on these next few possessions.
Absolutely. The game is on the line. Cougars, 2 minutes, 45 seconds. This is where you make your money.
Everett Hayes blasts it into the end zone for a touchback. Ball will come out to the 25-yard line, and Washington State 75 yards away from a touchdown and a lead. Janikowski has been a good kicker this year, not great. He's missed a few kicks. He's had some blunders. But this offense, led by John Mateer, is explosive and can score in a heartbeat. But you don't want to score too fast because we have seen Oregon State go down the field and score relatively quickly at the end of that first half. They have over 300 yards of passing. Washington State just 221 yards passing. So here we go, 25-yard line. It's first down and 10. Mateer takes the snap, and he's running it himself out past the 30 to the 35, and he is pushed out of bounds, and he looks like he's got the first down on the first play of the drive, and the clock will still be running. So 2.5 minutes to go. It's almost perfectly synced with the play clock. The game clock is about a half second faster. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Will Washington State watch that run down and maybe take it to the 2-minute timeout? Or do they go quick and try to get another play off before the timeout? Mateer in the shot, heels on the 30-yard line. Fakes the clap, and they will take it to the 2-minute timeout. Yeah. Beavers and Cougars tied at 38 apiece. 2 minutes to go. A crazy finish coming down to the wire in Corvallis. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. We'll be back for this wild finish in Corvallis. minutes remaining. Washington State and Oregon State in a Pac-12 After Dark thriller. 38 all. Washington State picked up a first down on their first play of the drive. John Mateer ran it himself out to about the 35-yard line. Their target is about the 30-yard line for Dean Janikowski to get the field goal. He has a career long of 52 yards. But they would love a touchdown to avoid that. 2 minutes to go. Who wants it more, Beavers or Cougars? Washington State on 1st and 10. Mateer, quick throw to Kyle Williams. Slant pass caught, and he's out towards midfield, and he's taken down past the 45-yard line. The ball came out after the play. The ball is out, but are they going to mark him down? Oregon State thinks they have it. The refs are meeting at midfield on the Beaver eye. Did Williams fumble it? The crowd did not even expect this to happen, and they're going to mark it Oregon State ball, potentially. They're still meeting, but Skylar Thomas points the Beavers' way. Kyle Williams is in disbelief. They're going to review it.
That is brutal because I hate to say this. I don't know if the Cougars are getting a stop. That's brutal. You need to keep that ball. Let's see what happens though.
And it was a crazy play because it didn't look like there was anything that happened. It was just a typical slant pass. And then all of a sudden, the Beaver players are jumping on the ball and celebrating on the sideline. Really hard to see from our vantage point.
The angle is...
I think the ball is out. I don't think he's down. I think he's laying on top of a Oregon
it's tough
State.
because his knee's not down, but he's on top of a guy, so I'm not sure how you can what that counts as.
The ruling on the field, I believe, was the Oregon State possession. So if they can't confirm that he was down, it would most likely just stay as the play was called, even though the umpire came in and raised his hand and said that he was down. I don't know if he was, because he assumed that the play was going to end just as everybody else did in the stadium. And then all of a sudden, the Beavers jump on the ball.
It's brutal because the Wazoo, a little bit ago, almost had that, barely a forward pass, could have sealed the game potentially. And now instead, they are the ones who are falling victim to a fumble. And you give the ball back to a red-hot Oregon State offense. Meanwhile, the Cougars defense hasn't been able to really stop a lick tonight. So they have to work it out for them. They did have a couple interceptions, so that's something they can hold their hat on, maybe to get another interception. But the Beavers would get the ball. They need about 20 yards to win the game.
They're right at midfield. Great field position. We will take a really short break and be back with the call. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Here comes the call. A potential fumble by Kyle Williams at midfield.
After review, it was a catch. The Washington State player fumbled the ball.
And it's a turnover by Kyle Williams. He fumbled it at midfield, and Oregon State will have it with minute. So they're going to have a minute and 54 seconds to go and a chance to break the hearts of the Cougars. 38-38, minute 54 to go.
I think there's about to be some hearts broken in Pullman tonight.
Gulbranson, the quarterback, with Hankerson on his right hip. Minute 54 to go. Handoff to Hankerson, right up the gut. Falls forward to the 45-yard line of Washington State. Minute 45 to go. They're just trying to get to about the same place. Again, their kicker does have the school record 60-yarder.
60 yards, yeah. Of course, he has missed 5 field goals this year, so.
Yes, he is 7 of 12, so he's not a guarantee, but he has a strong leg. So they're trying to get to about the same as Washington State was, the 30-yard line, and a minute 20 to go. They are taking all of the time off the clock, not leaving any time for Washington State. And again, Johnson has checked into the game, and he takes the snap with the speed option, and he's taken down. The ball is out again, but Oregon State gets right back on it.
And again, you gotta, for Washington State, probably start thinking about calling a timeout, and they do.
Yeah, exactly. Dickert does take the timeout. That was the big discussion of last weekend's blunder in Albuquerque, was 3 timeouts went back home to Pullman. They didn't call any of them late in the game. This time they do call a timeout with a minute and 3 to go. 38-38. It's 3rd down and 6. So if Oregon State doesn't quite get this first down, there is another chance for Washington State to get the ball back.
Well, and knowing Oregon State,
there's nothing to lose at this point. They need to win the last 2 games of the year, and you can't win if you don't have the ball and if you don't score more than the other team. And they've got a kicker that can absolutely blast it, and they have been pretty good on 3rd downs. They've got 7 out of 13 tonight. So it'll be Gulbranson back into the game. Jabari Johnson fumbled it on that last play, but it was recovered by an offensive lineman. The center, Van Wells, got back onto it for Oregon State. They're huddled up at midfield. The ball's on the near hash at the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 6 for the Beavers. Score is tied at 38. Gulbranson in the shotgun. Has 2 tight ends to the left. Hankerson on the right side of him. His heels are on the midfield stripe. From the 45-yard line. 3rd down and 6. Takes a snap. It's going to be a pass, and it's a quick out to Hankerson, and he dropped it! Anthony Hankerson dropped the pass. He was wide open, and all of the fans just did the surrender cobra.
Oh, wow. Anthony Hankerson, all I can say to that, Davis, is nerves. I mean, really, because there's no other explanation to why he doesn't catch that ball. It was a perfectly thrown ball, maybe a tad bit overthrown, but you really couldn't have asked for a better target. He was wide open.
Exactly.
I think that comes down to nerves.
Yeah, wow. 1 minute to go. Oregon State calls a timeout. A guy, Anthony Hankerson, that has 23 catches coming into tonight. A guy they use frequently out of the backfield. There was nobody around him. It was a catch, but a guy that has probably made that catch hundreds and thousands of times in his career.
Thousands of times.
Drops it on a crucial 3rd down and 6, and it brings up 4th in the same yardage.
And for those listening, if you're not watching, he would have had probably 10 yards.
Absolutely, he would have got to the probably 30-yard line.
That would be borderline field goal range. Definitely a 1st down, and it would have been close to field goal range.
Yeah.
So that's a huge drop.
Absolutely, a monumental drop by Anthony Hankerson. And he knows it too. And the entire team knows it, but they have to rebound.
So let's see.
4th down and 6.
Washington State has had some crucial 4th down misses, shall I say, not only this game, but this year. I mean, you look back to there was a game at home against San Jose State. A fourth down and goal. They let them score a touchdown. They've had some. Their fourth down defense has been suspect, but we'll see if they can do it right here.
4th down and 5. Gulbranson to the air to Trent Walker, and he makes the catch. It's a first down for the Beavers. And again, it's Mr. Reliable Trent Walker. And he's limping. It's been a battle out there for both teams, but Walker has been the man tonight for Oregon State. Every time they need a big play, they go to him. The clock running. 43 seconds to go. Handoff to Hankerson up the middle, and he's met by Thornton at about the 36-yard line. Dickert calls a timeout with 37 seconds to go.
Washington State.
And that's as much as you can do if you're Jake Dickert right here, because if not, you're not getting the ball back. And if nothing else, try to get the stop, force him to kick a long field goal at the end of the game. You got one more timeout, so let's do the timing here. If they get a stop on 2nd down, call another timeout, about 30 seconds left. It'll be 3rd down. No teams will have a timeout. So then it's like the Beavers will run a play on 3rd down, and then they'll probably kick it on the next play. Or, who knows? Who knows? But where neither team can stop the clock other than the Beavers probably will have to do that. They'll maybe hand the ball off and then run it down, spike it, kick a field goal. Still a long field goal right now. You're looking at about 54 yards, but that is within Hayes' range. He hit a 60-yarder school record, so we're in his range. It's deep, though.
2nd down and 8, play action. They go to Walker again, and he's got an ankle tackle by Latia Mua.
That's a risky. I don't know why you throw it there.
Very risky play, because if that's incomplete, the clock stops, and Washington State doesn't have to call a timeout. They do ultimately have to call a timeout. Walker gets the catch, and Dickert calls his final timeout. There is 28 seconds left in this game. 38 all.
So you're looking at 3rd and long. Right now it's a 55-yard field goal. So what do you do here, Davis? Do you try to get the chunk play, get the first down? If you don't, your basically option is you hand the ball off, and wherever they spot it, you line up and kick the field goal to win the game.
They don't have any timeouts, and you can't spike it at this point, because if you do, that's a turnover on down. So
spike it, So I think they have to run the ball and say a prayer on Connor Hayes.
Yeah, the hope is that maybe you can get a first down if you're the Beavers, stop the clock for a moment, get the spike. But they put 2 seconds back on the game clock. There's 30 seconds to go. It's 3rd down and 9. They need 9 yards to get a first down. And my guess is it's going to number 7 if they go to the air. If not, they're going to need to really rush on this field goal unit. They have to be ready to go if they don't get the first down, because there's only 30 seconds and they can't stop the clock. No timeouts for Oregon State. No timeouts for Washington State either. 30 seconds to go. 2 receivers to each side. Ball's on the 37-yard line. 3rd down and 9. Massive play. Gulbranson in the shotgun. Takes a snap. Looking right. Going to fire towards the sideline, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Walker. O'Connor was in coverage, and it's incomplete. 4th down and 9, and the field goal unit will come out. And this is going to be a long one. The ball's on the 39.
About a 54, 55-yard attempt.
Well within Hayes' range. He does have the school record, 60 yards. But here we go.
Not necessarily for the game. There's still 20. Washington State would get 20 seconds, so it'd be a similar situation to last night.
26 seconds to go. Kick on the way. Everett Hayes, does he have it? Yes, he does. And it's 41-38. Oregon State has it. And the Beavers go up with 20 seconds left. Cougars don't have any timeouts, but they do have 20 seconds, and this place is going crazy.
I'll tell you what, if I was the Cougars defensive coordinator, I'd be worried about my job next year.
Absolutely.
It's hard to let Oregon State scored 20 points combined the past 3 games. They've just scored 41 points on the Washington State Cougars. 20 seconds to go.
20 seconds on the game clock. It's 41-38.
You have to treat 20 more like 10 because they're going to squib kick this thing, I'm sure.
Absolutely. They did this in the first half. Smithson took it out to about the 17, and then they had to take a knee. Lane Smithson does have a kick return touchdown. He scored last year a 98-yarder against the Buffaloes in one of the last games of the year. But Washington State, again, a late collapse. Second half struggles. Oregon State brought the punch, and they haven't looked back too much tonight. They scored 41 points. Hayes to kick it away, and it is a deep kick. Smithson will let it bounce, and it's a touchback. So instead of a squib to take some seconds off, they don't even want to give him a chance to get an explosive return. And John Mateer with 75 yards to go to the end zone. But the target could be a field goal, but they don't have any timeouts. The clock will stop momentarily after a first down.
We've seen them make magic happen. They did this at home against San Jose State, but that was with an audience that was not hostile. This is a hostile crowd right now.
Yes, 20 seconds to go. First down and 10. Washington State needs it. Mateer in the gun, pressure coming, and he throws it away out of bounds. Omatosho got the pressure, and Mateer nearly got sacked. That would have ended the game, no doubt about it. 14 seconds to go.
Credit to the Beavs, man. This team could have given up. They lost 5 straight games. They could have given up on their team, but this fan base is out. They're having a blast. This is a better crowd than Washington State probably would have had at this game.
41-38. Oregon State has the lead. 14 seconds to go. Washington State needs a bunch of yards, and they need them quick. Mateer in the shotgun. Steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle, and it's dropped by Williams. Incomplete. And there are just 7 seconds to go. And it's probably going to take a miracle with some ladders, some laterals, and not a lot of hope on this sideline. The team in all white is not looking all right now. This place is absolutely electric. The chainsaws come out on third down, 25-yard line. Washington State only has 7 seconds to play. Down by 3. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Mateer takes the snap. 5 seconds to go. Fires towards Meredith, and it's caught. Laterals it to Williams, who takes it back to Parker all the way across the field to Mateer, who catches it. And he's still on his feet. Mateer fires back to Meredith, and he's lateraling it back to Williams at the 20-yard line. Fires it all the way across the field to Mateer, running down the sideline, turns and fires back to a Beaver, and it's knocked away, and the ball's on the ground, and the Beavers have won the game. Oregon State upsets Washington State in a classic in Corvallis. There is a flag down.
Do not enter the field.
They're telling the fans to not enter the field.
Do not enter the playing field.
But there is a flag down. Washington State heartbreak. There is no time left on the clock.
Pass interference. Offense.
And it's pass interference on the
there you
Cougars.
go.
The game is over, and Oregon State upsets Washington State. Heartbreak for the Cougars. They dropped their second in a row. Unbelievable game in Corvallis. The fans are on the field. The fireworks are going off. Oregon State 41, Washington State 38. Heartbreak for Washington State. Unbelievable loss to Oregon State, but a great game by the Beavers, who absolutely had to have it. And Washington State loses again.
And the number 1 in 2024, the Oregon State Beavers winning the Pac-12. Washington State hasn't won the Pac-12 in a long time, and it might be a long time after because Boise State's headed here. Man, Coug did, right? I mean, but look, Davis, the better team won tonight, right? Oregon State, more yards, more passing yards, and more rushing yards. So if you want to look to any area, I mean, their offense was on a roll. Credit to Ben, senior night.
Yeah.
Starting only his second game of the season, and he didn't even play last year, right? They brought in a transfer. They didn't think he was good enough. They brought in a transfer, and he's got to be emotional, I can imagine, to come in off the bench twice and to get this win. He didn't even get to play last week. And in his last game, potentially, well, he'll get one more, but his last home game as an Oregon State Beaver, senior night, who knows if they're getting a bowl game, but credit to him because he fought, he played really well. That was a stellar game.
It was. He played absolutely fantastic, and a guy that started 2 years ago, he didn't even have any start until San Jose State week for Oregon State a few weeks ago. That didn't go well, and then he gets another opportunity tonight, and he makes the most of it. And it's an absolute party in Corvallis. The Beavers take down the Cougars.
You know what? They deserve this. The Pac-12 obviously has been rough on both of these teams, and we already got to see the Cougars got their moment against Washington, against Texas Tech. They got their moments. The Beavers really haven't had their moment yet this year. This is their moment. And they deserve it. They stuck with it. They're stuck with their team. The fact that this many students came out on a very cold Friday night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Saturday night, a lot of these students could be home right now with their families. They could be out partying. They're here supporting their football team, and good for them. They get to have a moment. You can't see it, but right now the field, it's a sea of orange and black on the field right now. You can't even really see the field.
Yep. Yeah, orange and black beats crimson and gray this time around. And what should be a fantastic rivalry going forward. Next year they will play twice. And Washington State will go back home against Wyoming next weekend for the final home game of the year. They drop to 8-3 on the year. Oregon State stays in the bowl eligibility hunt. They move to 5-6 on the year. They have Boise State next week. And that would be a massive showdown between the Beavers and the Broncos. 41-38, the final score. Oregon State beats Washington State from Levi Coovert. KUGR, I'm Davis Hagen. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night, and enjoy the Thanksgiving with your family. 41-38, the final score. Oregon State wins it over Washington State.